Broadcasting live from high atop the J.P. White Building in downtown Roswell, New Mexico. It's Mornings with Mike Winters on 106.5 Roswell's Talk FM.
Is that what I sound like when I talk?
Now, here's your host, Mike Winters.
And good morning, one and all. Welcome to Mornings with Mike Winters. I am he. That would be me, Mike Winters. Happy Thursday, everybody.
Naked.
Yeah.
I'm nude.
Young Roy has your headphones.
That's fine.
He was utilizing them in the production room there.
Sometimes you need the cans. I totally get it. and when you need a good set of cans, you go Beats by Dre.
That's right. Unless you, we don't have one pair of Beats anywhere in this building.
Those are Beats.
I thought they were like Sony's or something.
I'm pretty sure they're Beats.
I think they're Sony's.
It might be Sony's. They just look like Beats.
Yeah, they're not Beats.
I largely hate Beats headphones. And here's why. For music, for music output, they're fine. They're fine. They do the job. For vocal output, they're garbage.
Yeah?
Because they're always so bass heavy.
Oh, I got
They're like preset bass heavy.
Gotcha.
So it really makes it's hard to get those high ends of the vocals. So yeah, for vocal production, they're garbage.
Good tip.
Yep, pro tip. Hashtag definitely not a sponsor now.
Sorry, we'll get Dr. Dre on anytime soon. Well, happy Thursday, everybody. Welcome to it.
Yes.
Had a great fair day yesterday.
Absolutely fantastic turnout.
Concert was good. Everybody had a good time.
I love the word throng. It was a throng of people.
Oh, nice.
Mm-hmm. A lot of very enthusiastic folks out there at the concert last night. Great concert turnout, and a humongous thank you to Colton Dixon and his band for coming through. It was just a great turnout.
Awesome. Well, tonight's Tejano night, and they're gonna have 3 bands?
I believe it's 3 bands. Yeah,
I got there tonight. It's gonna be.
We're really excited about that one band, TBD. Yeah.
I had some underwear called that.
Yeah.
Oh, wait a minute. That was BVD.
That was BVDs.
Oh,
yeah.
never mind.
Yeah. Did you ever wear BVDs under your BDUs?
No, I did not.
Oh, see, I would have done that just for the irony.
When I was in basic, the official underwear of the United States Air Force was Fruit of the Loom.
Fruit of the Loom. That's right. When you're going to be crawling through the foxholes, you want to be wearing a nice tight pair of. Actually, Fruit of the Looms.
I've either got Hanes or Fruit of the Loom. I don't. I have both.
So, and this is probably way TMI for most folks, but I've recently switched to Fruit of the Looms because they have the kangaroo pouch.
Oh, isn't that handy?
Oh, it really is. It makes quick work.
I keep my keys in there.
It's a papoose.
Oh, man. Well, happy Thursday.
Yeah, with that tidbit.
Yeah. But yeah, we got tonight out at the fair. Come on out. Great night of music, entertainment, rides, the whole bit. If you haven't been out there yet, today's a good day. Come on out there.
Anna going to be broadcasting live over on her sister station, Fierro 106.1 FM.
Yeah, I believe beginning at 5 p.m.
5 o'clock, 5 to 7 tonight. Yep, she'll be on bringing the jams.
And the shows and everything start about 6 tomorrow?
The shows
or tonight?
Tonight, I believe, and that's why I said TBD, because they still haven't determined the time exactly. Okay. I believe they start about 6 o'clock, because with 3 bands, they have a few to get through.
Of course, your concert ticket is included into the price of the admission into the fairgrounds.
Indeed it is. And it doesn't matter if you want to listen or if you don't want to listen, because the way they got the speaker set up, you're going to listen to that concert.
Awesome. They got the sound system. It's going all over. Huh?
It's so the new setup, the stage is to the south of the fairgrounds, where what used to be kind of the vendor parking area.
Yep.
They've expanded that out, and that's now the new staging area.
Yeah.
And they've got a wall of speakers set up to where they were just testing the mic, and it was like the person who was testing the mic was like in my ear while I was inside the boombox doing a broadcast.
Wow.
So, some crystal clear audio.
All right. Cool.
I'm thinking that's where they're going to go if they need to announce that somebody needs to move their car before it's towed, because everyone in the fair will know.
People on our tees are like, well, it sounds like my car.
Did you hear that low rumble? No, they were just testing the bass. It's fine.
Well, good deal. Well, get on down there tonight, and of course, big night tomorrow night with great. I guess you could say kind kind of a red dirt night, sort of. I mean, it's country night. Is it all technically red dirt? I don't think they all are.
Well, actually, yeah, technically all the artists are. They're a form
red
of
dirt.
Yeah, it falls under that category.
Okay.
I mean, she's never really recorded anything.
I know all these
specifically in
genres
Nashville.
start crossing over at each other, and I'm like, I don't know. It's
The mindset is if you've recorded it with an independent label, then you kind of fall into that red dirt category.
country's is getting as bad as heavy metal music. Like there's 67 subgenres of it.
We literally had this conversation yesterday with Sundance Head. That's right. If you want to hear my Sundance Head interview, or sister station, 92.9 The Brand. So we were talking about how, these independent labels, a lot of these are sprung up from the pandemic. People couldn't, get to Nashville to record. So all these folks were like, why don't we just start our own label? And so you've been seeing a great number of these independent labels kind of getting behind Texas country and red dirt country. And it's sort of been like almost a renaissance.
Okay.
Yeah, it's kind of neat.
Cool. I will bring my my painter's palette.
Ooh, fancy.
When I think Renaissance, I think fancy hats and painter's palettes.
Well, I was thinking big straw hats and probably like them, hangs of straw hanging out your lip.
Renaissance, we're evolving. I feel like,
It's a redneck renaissance.
Yes, it's a cowboy with a pinky out.
Basically, we keep all of our paints in a Cool Whip bowl. They blend together after a while.
I can't believe it's not butter bowls.
Well, aren't you fancy?
Actually,
Look at
no.
Fabio over here.
That's not true. It's country crock bowl.
There you go. Dude, you joke, but I had so many cereal bowls growing up that had country crock on the side.
Hey, I understand.
Those are the best bowls. They're deep.
They're big.
That's a good cereal bowl.
Yeah. Problem is they empty the entire box of cereal in like 2 bowls.
Why is that a problem?
That's a problem when you want a third bowl of
Sure.
cereal.
If you've gone through 2 of those bowls of cereal, you might have diabetes. You might need to get yourself checked out, Wilford Brimley.
To be honest, take me down to Fiber City. I just
It's true. After my 3rd bowl of grape nuts, I just really feeling it.
about a fiber to bowl of cereal.
Crackling Oat Bran.
Oh man, let me give you the rundown. I just had this image that I cannot share on the radio. It's just my head. You had me at grape nuts. But we're going to replay our interview we had with Angie Moore from the Chamber. She joined us in the 9 o'clock hour, gave us an update on some things they've got coming up. So we're going to play that for you here in just a little bit.
Very good.
In the 8 o'clock hour, about 8:15, we'll have the folks from Job Corps here in town. Are they coming in, or are they doing the telly?
I'm going to assume telephone. I haven't had any involvement with
I
Job
just
Corps
saw they
in
were
quite
on
some
the
time.
list. They had them on the list here, so let's see if they drop by this morning. And then in the 9 o'clock hour, about 9:15, we'll have the folks from the Roswell Communal Theater drop by.
Nice.
Unnecessary Farce.
Oh, yes.
Opening night, 24 hours away.
I don't know this for sure, but he might be listening now, so this might actually screw up the bet. But he set a precedent. Every time the RCLT has come in to do an interview, Chris brings donuts.
Oh.
I'm assuming he's listening right now. So
So you're expecting...
I'm not expecting anything. I'm not expecting it. But if donuts happen to show up in the break room, just if the stars happen to align and those things happen to happen, then so be it.
There you go.
Far be it for me to tempt fate.
A full Sean's a happy Sean. I know that.
Very true. Oh, by the way, I gotta say, I have a complaint to file
Against?
Rocket the Robot.
Oh no! What did he do?
Oh, this.
Did he dish you?
No. So I'm in the boombox. For those who have ever seen the boombox, who came to the parade, and saw the boombox, we're up about, we'll call it 5-6 feet off the ground where the window is. High atop, yes. Sitting in this booth. So I'm in there setting up the laptop, getting all my equipment set up, and now the way we're set up, we only have the one plug, so we can't run the air conditioner. So I have all my windows open, trying to get some flow through air, trying to get the hot air that was trapped in the boombox all day out of there.
Sure.
So I'm focused, getting all my equipment set up. I didn't notice that Rocket had rolled up to the window.
Oh, he was sneaking in on you?
And said, and in the loudest, most auto-tuned voice I've ever heard in my life, "Can I have one with everything on it?" I'm like, oh my God! I fell off my chair. I almost had a heart attack. It was a lot.
Oh, that's funny. You got by
I got. And then as he rolled away, I couldn't, and I took a picture of this. Actually, I took a picture of this because I couldn't get to my phone at the time. As he rolled away, all confident that I'd gotten, all I could notice was whoever designed this robot, for some reason, designed this robot with butt cheeks. I don't know if that's like a mobility thing or what, but it has.
He must work out.
Yeah, he could crack a walnut in those things. I had to pull the phone out because I'm like, he has distinct butt cheeks, and it's such a weird design for a fair robot that's out there talking to kids and stuff.
It does have some musculature.
Right. I'm saying you could bounce a couple of quarters off that thing. The point is, no, it was off-putting. We'll put it that.
It was so wrong, yet so right.
And I fully recommend, by the way, go out to the fair and listen to how Rocket talks, because it's equal parts like it's like a car accident. It's like I want to look away. It's so off-putting and grating and jarring, but it's so melodic that you almost like are listening. You're like, is he singing? Is he about to break into song right now?
He's like the sirens of the sea.
He's got a lot of cool little features too. Like randomly, I was walking by at one point, and randomly he was talking to a crowd of people, and he just turns on organ music and starts marrying these two people, marrying these two strangers, obviously.
I like it.
But I'm like, oh, you got a whole wedding feature in there. What are their toys? Like I'm not sure how old the guy is inside, but he kind of has this, like, he sounds like he's in his 60s. Like he has that kind of like older fellow voice. You know what I'm talking about? The kind where you got like the shakier vocal cords. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
But maybe that's all the auto-tune.
Well, that very well could be. But boy, that thing is off-putting.
I just want to see him sneak up on people and scare them.
I didn't fall completely off my chair, but that was a fright.
Good thing they have a pants store at the fair.
I'm gonna need to visit the pants pavilion.
All right, 7:17. Here's your weather.
I'm meteorologist Steve Hamilton with your Pecos Valley weather. High pressure over central New Mexico and West Texas, and that'll keep us fair for the next few days. Pretty warm, too. Our afternoon high today will be in the low 90s with sunshine. Partly cloudy overnight and down to the mid-50s. Looks like low 90s and sunny again tomorrow, maybe a little bit breezy in the afternoon. 95 on Saturday, low 80s Sunday. That's your latest forecast. I'm meteorologist Steve Hamilton.
Thank you, Steve. Currently 55 degrees here in Roswell. Humidity is at 72%. Wind speeds. They got a big fat NA there. I guess the thing at the airport's broken at the moment. Sunny. High of 91 today. Excuse me. Pardon me there. Sunny, high of 91 there. It's a little warmer today. Northwest winds 5 to 10 miles per hour. Tonight, partly cloudy with an overnight low of 56. South winds at around 10 miles per hour. Friday. Another warm one tomorrow, sunny, 92 for a high. Winds out of the south, 10 to 15 miles per hour. Tomorrow night, mostly clear, overnight low of 57. Southwest winds 5 to 15. Then for your weekend, warm for you Saturday. Sunny skies, a high of 95 expected. Southwest winds 5 to 10 in the morning, but going to get breezy for Saturday afternoon. Winds picking up 15 to 20 miles per hour for Saturday afternoon. Saturday night, clear skies with an overnight low of 59, and with those winds on Saturday, bringing in cooler temperatures for Sunday. Sunny skies, high of 82 on Sunday, and then looks like 84 for a high Monday, Columbus Day, and then 82 and breezy on Tuesday, down into the low 70s on Wednesday. So, I don't know, maybe this is your last respite of 90s for 2021 this weekend. Maybe not, but I don't know. Wade, just looking right now, I got a feeling Saturday might be our last 90-plus day in 2021. Maybe. I don't know. We'll see. All right, it is 7:20. Let's go ahead and take a quick commercial break. On the other side of the break, we're going to play our interview we had with Andrew Moore, Chamber Director for the Roswell Chamber of Commerce. That's coming up on the other side. Don't go away. You're listening to Mornings with Mike Winters.
Times are changing, and today's funerals aren't always the sad and solemn events you might expect. This is Gabriel Casaus from LaGrone Funeral Chapel. Along with hymns and scriptures, today's funeral services are often filled with fish stories, country songs, and a joke or two, golf clubs, and hot rods. favorite recipes, and kitchen disasters. At LaGrone Funeral Chapel, we believe a funeral should reflect your loved one's personality, passion, and sense of humor. When you lose a loved one, we're here, because at LaGrone Funeral Chapel and Crematory, we make it personal.
900 South Main, Roswell.
Well, the Eastern New Mexico State Fair is coming up, and while a lot of people associate the fair with rides, funnel cakes, and feeling queasy, the FFA and 4-H kids are all thinking about their animals. You see, these kids are the first to tell you, our food doesn't come from the supermarket, it comes from the farms and ranches. And they've been working hard all year, raising up their animals and hoping for blue ribbons. This is Jim Gill from Roswell Seed Company, reminding you, a lot more happens in the country than just stealing watermelons. Or maybe that was just me.
Good morning, honey. Hey, I have to pick up the kids from school this afternoon. Can you call...
A home invasion can happen anytime, even when you're at home. Protect your home and the ones you love with whole home security from Zenith Security. The security experts at Zenith Security can monitor your whole home 24/7. So they're ready whether you're there or not. Call Zenith Security Services LLC at 626-3521. That's 626-3521 and get whole home security with Zenith Security Services LLC.
The Artesia Arts Council presents the return of Art in the Park. Friday and Saturday, October 15th and 16th at JC Park in Artesia. Friday night from 4 to 9, come out for lots of free arts and crafts, plenty of awesome food trucks, and a night chock full of all sorts of live performances. The festival continues Saturday from 9 to 4, including the Artesia High School Band Cakewalk. There's something for everyone, and best of all, admission is absolutely free. Art in the Park, Friday and Saturday, October 15th and 16th at JC Park, 1710 North 26th Street. Ad paid for by Artesia Lodgers Tax.
Here's a Mornings with Mike Winters fun fact. 95% of people text things they could never say in person. Check your text messages. We just sent you something. Here's Mike Winters.
And good morning. It is 21 minutes after 9 o'clock. And joining us in studio this morning from the Roswell Chamber of Commerce, Andrew Moore, Executive Director, back with us. Good morning.
Good morning. And scene.
How are you today? Good.
It's a great day. It's fair week.
It's fair week. Weather is perfect.
Oh, it's been beautiful.
Everything we've asked for is kind of happening this week.
That's right.
So we can't complain. Of course, folks, if you haven't been out to the fair yet, get on. Matter of fact, the first big concerts start tonight at the fair. It is Senior Day, 3 to 6 today. It's free admission for seniors all day. It's 55 and older.
Yes.
But from 3 to 6, they've got special seniors vaccines. You can get shingles, COVID, flu shots. And
awesome. That's right, because it's flu season now.
Yeah. There's one more I'm missing in there, too, but they'll help you with all that stuff. So
yeah, come on in. And
especially that shingles one. I mean, that's a good one to get.
Apparently, that is nasty stuff to get.
Well, I mean, it's one of those deals. If you're over 50, I think is when they say you can start getting them.
I think so.
Obviously, it's 55.
I'll have to ask my husband since he's old people now. And he's listening, so I'm gonna get a text here in a minute.
Since his AARP stuff showing up in the mail there.
I told him that this morning. I was like, oh, by the way, if you want to go to the fair, it's free for you today.
Yeah.
Because it's Senior Day. He threw a pillow at me.
Well, I can't say much. Because I'm starting to get. I'm not 50 yet. I'm sniffing it.
Ditto.
I'm getting the AARP stuff in the mail and all that stuff.
Yeah, I probably should lay off a little bit because,
glass house.
Payback.
Payback. But so that's happening today. Come on out, be a part of it. The first concert. Is it Jody Nix tonight, I believe?
I think so.
Yeah.
Because today is
American Idol.
Christian kind of rock stuff tonight. Tomorrow is Tejano.
Yeah, and then Country Night Friday.
Yep.
And then they got another, I don't think it's Tejano, just Latin music night Saturday.
Yeah.
So
it's going to be fun times.
Big things. Chamber, as far as we were in the parade and had the big stuff in the parade there. We're not in a booth out there
no,
this week.
We are not in a booth.
But we are in our building, so if you need to come by and have anything the chamber related, even if it's questions about the fair or whatever.
And you can't miss the building anymore because we have this huge alien mural.
It's a beautiful mural. I saw it the other day.
Yeah.
It's great. It's is our same artist that paints many of the murals?
Eddie Macias has done it for us. He is doing a fantastic job. It's about 95% completed. He's been working diligently. He wants to have it done by today.
Cool.
Because we're hoping that it's going to be on national television tomorrow.
Oh, cool.
Yeah.
I'm curious. Do you give him any direction or just say, hey, paint me a mural and
Well, it did start with, hey, paint me a mural.
Yeah.
And so he gave us some ideas and we put input.
Okay.
You know, hey, yeah, we like this more than that.
Okay.
We like.
So you kind of give him a theme, and then he just kind of runs with it. So
and he's going to paint it in such a way that it's kind of like a comic book.
Okay.
So that way, because I told him, I said,
so is it going to have panels like a action panel?
So that's the first panel is that whole wall.
Okay. So you kind of read it as a story.
And then I told him, you know, as we get more funding and grants and sponsorships and stuff, I said, I have 4 walls that you can eventually paint. Like, I would love to see the entire building, since it is ours, we own it, we're not renting it.
Yeah.
That it can be all of this alien stuff, because that's what brings tourists into town.
Sure.
And if they stop and take a picture, they'll come in. We can direct them to then all of the other wonderful things that Roswell is.
Yeah, absolutely.
Because I assume everybody comes for aliens, and then I say, hey, how long are you here? Okay, and then I've stopped asking or telling people go to the UFO museum. We assume everybody is coming.
That's kind of speaks for itself.
Yes, so I go, how long are you in town for? Oh, okay, after you're done with the UFO museum, you need to contact Amy. You need to contact Robert. You need to come over to RMAC. Here's, you're outdoor enthusiasts? Well, then there's 3 spots that you need to go to. Bottomless Lakes, Bitter Lakes. You need to go to the refuge down there off of Sycamore.
Absolutely.
You know, great hiking, great outdoors stuff. It's, you know, within, 20, 30 minutes, either Bottomless Lakes or Bitter Lakes.
Absolutely.
So, we try to tailor it to what people want to do.
Sure. It's all about getting that foot in the door sometimes.
That's right.
And that's marketing 101. It's, okay, they stopped to see the mural. Now that they've stopped, now you got their ear.
Now we can show them all the other stuff that we've got.
Yeah,
so
absolutely. So it's. I mean, you think about it. You know, look at other landmarks in town. You know, Dunkin' Donuts. How many people take pictures in front of that big alien every day? Oh, by the way, they probably get a cup of coffee after they're done taking a picture, or getting a donut or an ice cream donut.
And the same with McDonald's. Look at that UFO that Nick has out there for the
people
kids'
come
playland. People stop. At night, it's lit up, it's beautiful, and chances are somebody else, they stop and they'll get a hamburger or fries.
Yeah, same kind of deal.
That's right.
That's marketing, and that's how it works.
That's right. And it's $1 billion brand that we have for free in our city.
Absolutely.
That other cities and towns would die to have.
And to be honest, the more like into the future we go, the more popular it gets. You know what I mean? Because it's space and aliens, and it's the unknown.
We've got a space race going on right now with the 3 big billionaires.
I feel like it's a theme that's got some legs. And we've got because it's the best of both worlds. We've got the history of the old with the 47 crash and everything that people, and obviously we got way bigger and better, deeper history than the 47 crash.
Yes.
But that's what everybody knows about. So you get them in to learn. They say, oh, yeah, we're here about the crash. Oh, by the way, did you learn about our Lincoln County War connections? Did you learn about our dairy industry? Did you learn about all the different, odds are if you had a pizza, you've eaten a pizza in your life?
You've had our cheese.
Pretty good. You probably ate cheese from here. You know
exactly.
What I mean? That's the kind of stuff
it is just, I have traveled all over the world. And I tell people I'm from Roswell, and immediately they know Roswell, New Mexico, aliens, and of course they go, "Oh, Area 51 or and I'm like, "Nah." I stopped telling them it's Nevada, but I'm like, if that's what you think, yes, 100%, you're right.
You come look for it.
Come on, come to Roswell. And
we have Area 52.
Yeah, exactly. So, but we don't. And I grew up in Colorado, and you can't even say that about Denver, New York City, LA. People around the world don't always know what that is. But you say Roswell, New Mexico, and everybody immediately goes, aliens. And I'm like, that's right.
Well, and I can give you an example of it just, being local. If you're local and you've raised here and all that, you kind of, you get a, I don't know if jaded's the right word, but you take it for granted a little bit.
Yes.
What we have here. And the example I'm going to give you, because of where I grew up in Maryland, the suburbs of Washington, D.C. I had the Lincoln Memorial, the Washington Monument, the White House. I had history up my butt. I couldn't throw a rock without hitting something historical where I grew up and lived. I grew literally 5 miles from where I lived. Was Dr. Samuel Mudd's house. He's the man that set John Wilkes Booth's leg when he assassinated Lincoln. Spent a couple days there. That house was 5 minutes from my house, and as a Boy Scout, we used to whitewash the fence and been in that. I mean, that's the kind. I mean, I had history everywhere. But my point is, and I see it, especially now that I've come out the area and come back, and I live. It's no different everywhere else. People that live in the D.C. area, they think nothing of the White House or they drive by it every day. It's no big deal. It's a place where homeless people pee.
Yeah. I mean, that's absolutely. Absolutely.
That's kind of a way locals think of it. That's not the case, but that's what people think of it. And of course, it's kind of the same thing. Whenever family comes to town and tourists, what do you guys do? You take them to the Alien Museum, and same thing. We take them to the mall, take them to the museums, take them to, ours is big enough where you can make a couple trips. It's like, next time we come out, we'll go to Mount Vernon, or next time we come out, we'll go here, or whatever, It's just, there's so much there. And for them to get kind of nose blind to it in that world where, I mean, it's so in your face, it's easy to see how it could be done here. And that's why we need to remind ourselves, no. We have an international brand here. We have something that people in countries you've never heard of are familiar with our town.
Yep.
And we need to make sure we take advantage of that in any way, shape,
That's
or form.
right. Bring them.
If we've got it, might as well flaunt it. You know
That's
what I'm
right.
saying? Why hide our eggs under our basket when we can use that for prosperity for our community? And that's what it is. So that's why I mentioned the thing about the DC, just because you can't see the forest from the trees sometimes.
Well, that's how it was growing up in Colorado and Denver. We had a lot of that kind of history in Denver, and it was the same thing, because those are your field trips every year when you're in school. That's, those are the places that you go. So growing up, you're like, I have to go there again. And then, you grow up, and now that I'm not there, when I go back, I'm like, oh my gosh, I remember. And I can tell my kids, every, spring we went to the Capitol building, because the Colorado State Denver Capitol is just phenomenon.
Yeah.
And you can go up there and see all of the different mountains and stuff. So that's, and we've got.
But if you're local, you don't think about it.
Exactly.
Yeah.
You're just, and then, bring the aliens, bring the UFOs. So we're excited for it.
Yeah.
And come on, take pictures.
Absolutely. So look for more murals coming up here on the building here pretty quick. And like another, for instance, I lived in Waldorf, Maryland, which is about 10 minutes from Andrews Air Force Base.
Okay.
If it's south of there.
Okay.
But where we lived, I think, was for one of the main runways. It was either their landing or takeoff patterns that they would do. Air Force One flew over my house like 4 times a day.
Wow.
How many times I look up, there's Air Force One. And you take that for granted. And so, like, if that happened to people around here, like, holy crap, there's Air Force One.
Well, when Obama came to town, he flew over my house to come to Roswell.
Yeah.
And my kids and I, we did that. We were on the back porch and we're like, there it is.
I played hockey in the cul-de-sac in front of my house all day during the summers. 3 times a day, we look up, there's Air Force One flying over. It's
isn't that crazy?
It's just the world you live in, and what you put it in perspective sometimes. Yep. So think about that, and think, yes, we have this gem of Roswell, and even the Lincoln County side. I know, we think more about Lincoln, but you talk about Wild West stuff. If you said name a Wild West person, 9 out of 10 people, the first thing out of their mouth is Billy the Kid. You're going to get a couple Wild Bill Hickoks or Pat Garrett's or even Pat Garrett's in our area. But,
Kit Carson,
Kit
the
Carson.
different, all of that
but
stuff.
But Billy the Kid is, think Hollywood, think whatever you want. Again, it's in the mouth of every person pretty much on the planet.
And that's right here. And it's our back door.
Why can't you utilize that too? It's all, use it together. That's, hey,
absolutely.
You're coming to Southeast New Mexico, come to Carlsbad Caverns, come to Lincoln, New Mexico, come to Roswell, come, that's how we prosper as a community, by inviting people and synergy. That whole, hey, you're going to head to Carlsbad? Well, stop and have lunch in Artesia on the way, because they got some good restaurants. I mean, that's the kind of stuff you tell tourists and things, and
Well, yeah, and we all have our favorite place, or and so we're like, okay, depending on who comes in the door at the chamber, who answers the door at the chamber when we have people come in, you're going to get a different recommendation for breakfast, for lunch, for dinner, because we do actually have a wide variety of places to go eat.
Mm-hmm.
And so, we try really hard to not send everybody to the one place, because there is usually one place that we can all agree on.
Sure.
But we do have a lot of other members, so we have to go, okay, if we said Billy Bob's Diner, we need to tell them to go to Sally's Bakery next time, because you got to share the love, because both Billy Bob and Sally are great.
Yeah. They're both. I was wondering, like, do fights start if someone just walked in and said, hey, where's a place to get some good Mexican food around here?
It just depends on who's the one talking to that customer, because I'll tell you, we all have different
people. They all have their different, and they're all great for their own reasons.
Exactly.
It's like, well, I like La Salsa because of all the salsas, but I like Popo's because of this.
And we do ask those questions too. We're like, okay, what do you like?
All right, yeah.
And if somebody goes, well, I'm really, into enchiladas, well, then we know, okay, we're going to send you here. Oh, I'm really into, tableside guacamole. Okay, well, then you're going to go over here.
Yeah, exactly.
If you want a really good margarita, that's a whole nother place.
Yeah.
So absolutely.
Exactly. Yeah, that's that, and so that's and that's really we as a community can do to promote our own community. Like when
we absolutely
events,
need to be doing that,
like
because
UFO Festival and stuff that draw people in. Be ambassadors for our town.
Well, and we are our worst enemy as well as citizens in Roswell, that we are the first ones to say, oh, Roswell's awful. It sucks. No, it doesn't.
Yeah.
Roswell is wonderful. Mm-hmm. Do we have issues? Of course we do. We are a town like every other town and city anywhere else in the world. Is there more than
2 people in a room?
Right. And so, we've got some issues, but overall, we are a great community.
Yeah.
Our weather is fantastic. Where else can you go golf almost 12? Well, no, you can golf 12 months out of the year.
Sure. And you don't have to be crazy.
Exactly. You can, outdoor activities you can do 12 months out of the year.
Sure.
You you get paid a pretty decent salary. If you get paid, even what people, roll their eyes at, I'm going to say $30,000-$40,000 a year, you can still live pretty well.
Sure.
In Roswell, because our median,
cost of living and
it's awesome. Yeah. It's fantastic. You live in a nice house. Mm-hmm. You can afford to feed your children, and then you can still go and visit all over the place.
We're the best big small town. And what I mean by that is we still have a small town feel.
Yes.
But we have the amenities of much larger community. Something that a small town of this size generally does not have accessible. And to be honest, the reason why, part of that is because we're Roswell, New Mexico, and we're a name on a thing. Now, granted, the base helped us in the early days, and now with even that base is still helping us today in the airline industry. We're on the map. We are an important integral part in the airline industry when it comes to these airplanes.
Because we've got, Dean Baldwin painting. Mm-hmm. We've got all of these other industries that help fix or break down airlines in some kind of way, shape, or form. Of course, we've got flights to Dallas and to Phoenix, and from there you can go anywhere in the world.
Absolutely. And we luck out in the fact that we're not as beholden. We're not a one-trick pony like some other communities. Yes. Hobbs, Carlsbad, maybe less Carlsbad, but Hobbs for certain are great communities. But when oil's good, those places are awesome. When it's bad, those places are real bad.
Yeah.
Carlsbad sees it too. They've got a little bit of offset, but it's still in the same boat there.
Well,
where Roswell, sure, it impacts us, but it's nowhere near the as rough here when the oil's bad as it is down in Eddy and Lee counties. It's just not. Because of that diversity, because of our airline industry, because of our ag industry, because of the cheese plant and the ag that leading up to that, all of that gives us our eggs in multiple baskets and oil and gas. So we're able to weather those storms, which allows us to do more, which means we have a hub. That airport is a huge hub for Southeast New Mexico. To be honest, without that airport, Hobbs isn't doing what it's doing. Carlsbad, all this. Yeah, they have an airport, but it's still they're not. It doesn't meet the same needs.
We have the largest runway
in the country, just about.
Yeah,
it's.
There's a reason that presidents have come to Roswell through history. To come and do either campaign stops or go on vacation. Yeah, I know as far back, at least through Reagan, I think we've had just about every president come through Roswell. And it doesn't matter, Republican, Democrat, they've come through because of the runway. Where else can they fly their plane?
Yeah. And when they come to southeast New Mexico, like when Obama was in Carlsbad and all that, that's where they landed.
He landed here and then
helicoptered him down
Marine One to wherever they were going to go.
To Carlsbad there to
Carlsbad to the caverns.
Remember, that was that one time the elevator worked, remember?
Yeah, the one time. Exactly. Because you can't have the president walk in and out of the caverns. Jeez.
But that's what we're talking about. Roswell's got this footprint that we need to make
We're
sure
pretty
we
cool.
Yeah.
We really are pretty cool. And if you're bored, you're not looking hard enough. You're not. And I was guilty of that at one time, saying all those same things. But being in the chamber, it has forced me to look at things completely different. So definitely this last year and a half, I've really changed. But I've loved Roswell well beyond before I worked at the chamber. So I think Roswell's awesome. And I've lived in many places around the country. And hands down, I can't imagine living anywhere else.
Yeah, it's a close-knit community. I mean, yes, like you said at the beginning, we all, we have our problems like every other community.
That's right.
That's just life. But we have a great community, and we have great people that make it great, but we need more people to continue. Get involved, stay involved, pick your passions. I don't care what they are. If you're into animals, if you're into kids, if you're into pets, whatever it is, find your passions.
Because there's something here for you.
Yeah, get involved with those. Help make our community better by getting involved in these things.
And if there's something that you're passionate about that you can't find a club or an organization or a way to do it, start it.
Yeah.
Because I promise you're not the only one.
Well, and ask. The chamber is a resource.
Yes.
Ask if you say, hey, I'm new to town. Is there any organization dealing with this? And if they can't answer that question directly, they'll get someone to answer that.
Well, we had a gentleman, as a matter of fact, come into the office yesterday. He was looking for a prospectors association.
Okay.
Apparently, a little old man had gotten him into prospecting.
Okay.
And I guess if you're part of this particular prospecting, and I think it's called the National Prospecting Association or something like that. If you are a member of this particular association, whatever claims they have under their umbrella, it doesn't matter if you actually have the claim or not, but you can go and pan for gold on that claim.
Like public panning lands or something. Okay.
And so this gentleman was telling us about that, and he's like, you can go in the middle. He goes, it looks like you're in the middle of nowhere. You take your buckets, you take some shovels full of dirt.
Okay.
And his buddy had a sleuths, which is, the way to pan for gold. In his barn, because he owned a dairy at one time.
Sure.
The dairy wasn't going anymore, and he said so for a couple of days they had a pickup truck worth of dirt that they went through, and he goes, by golly, there was gold.
They got some, and to be honest, I've watched enough of that Gold Rush show on TV. Like if you get like a film canister size that's got just like
those
bottom
little
cover,
flakes,
that's worth thousands of dollars right there. Just that little thing of it.
It's amazing.
You're like, wow, that's crazy.
So I had just learned something new even yesterday, because he came in and he goes, I'm looking for this particular association. Well, there's not one actually in Roswell, but there is that association in New Mexico. And he goes, you know what? I think I just will get a hold of the New Mexico chapter and see how to make a local one, because I can't be the only one down here that wants to do this.
I'm sure there's probably an interest somewhere. So, absolutely. Another resource, while you're out at the fair this week, walk around the education building, certainly the commercial building, but hit the education building too, especially because you'll see a lot of booths, and they're not booths like the commercial building because they're not manned like the booths over there, but a lot of nonprofits have a little board up there talking about what they do, how to contact them. So if you're looking for your niche too, walk around that building and take a look at some of those.
Yes, that's a great resource. I always go through there, and I'm always amazed. There's always at least one new one or an old one that has changed slightly, and so I do take note of those as well.
I mean, they got them in the commercial building, but the only difference is those are manned, so if you want to talk to a live person. And those are also businesses too, so it's not just
they tend to be more businessy.
Where in the education building, it's all the projects and things, but it's also our nonprofits area for them to promote their organizations.
Exactly, because they might not have the time. Because if you're in the commercial building, there are certain things you have to do.
Absolutely.
You have to be there from 4 to 10 every day, and I think it's 11 on Friday or Saturday. I forget which day.
there's good
That's a
reason
lot.
for that because, I mean, the fair is like, hey, we want our commercial building packed. We don't want people to walk in and everyone got booths and everyone's at lunch.
Exactly.
You know what I mean?
Well,
they want to make sure there's
exactly.
people there to cater to
And
it.
in
So-
fact, if
so
you
they're
want to
very
see
stringent
me
on that.
in my other life with my other hat, I'm out at the fair every day until 10 o'clock. So if you want to come to, and I can talk, politics. I can talk chamber business because I'm out there at that booth.
You'll be at the Republican
At the
Party
Republican
there?
booth because I just once again I love the fair
well,
and
that's your
that's
other
my
hat.
way
Yeah, that's
and
what
that's
you
my
do.
way to give back to
Your
things
passion.
that I love about. And Sheriff Harrington has a booth out there to reelect Harrington.
Okay.
So if anybody has not yet met the sheriff, which I don't
So
know
he got his
how.
own, because I know a lot of times candidates will just all conglomerate.
Correct,
to
but
one-
he's got his
he went and
own
got his own,
because
okay.
Mike does his own thing and he always has.
He's got a whole different. It's a whole different world too.
Absolutely. So he's been out there the last 2 nights himself out there, and he will talk to anybody. He will answer any questions, and I promise you, he does. He will legit answer any question because if anybody has weird, crazy questions, it's me. And I have gone up to him both nights I've been there, and I'm like, "Hey, so this just popped into my head, and I've got to ask." And he'll look at me and he'll go, "Of course you have that question," and then he answers it.
Yeah. Yeah, I find them weird ones too, but that's just for radio. But yeah, you're right. Sheriff Mike Harrington. If you got any questions, anything, he's not bad.
Yep.
So he'll
The
give you-
college is out there,
be
so
honest.
you can
Yeah.
ask any if you're looking into maybe taking some classes or you want to know what they have to offer. The college is out there, and then of course there's different real estate agents there if you want to, just about anything. I'm trying to think, so that's why I'm stumbling on my words because I'm walking down all of those
at the booth.
all those walkways, and there's just so much going on.
Plus, a lot of great vendor booths. Like if you love
Yes.
like home decor and knickknacks type things, they got a lot of those booths in there too for you. So
There's a couple of gun raffles going on.
okay, good.
If you want some Jesus, there's always a couple of the Christian
Churches there,
booths
okay.
that give out Bibles, or they'll pray for you, that kind of. So there really is something for everybody in the commercial building. And of course, I love the commercial building because right behind us is the ice cream.
Yeah.
And so
that-
we've
that-
already had our ice cream.
That is a place I go every year. I don't care. I don't care if I'm sick as a dog and couldn't eat another bite of food. I'm going to the ice cream.
Yes.
Because that's just what I do.
Yeah. And I have my mug from Wild West sodas that I've had for years and years and years.
I had to retire mine. It got a little beat up, so I got to get a new one. My
they're
other one-
out there.
Yeah, my other one, I had to retire it last year. So,
So
I gotta get a
I've
new
got
one.
my special one that I have to hide from the kids, and it's funny. It's about 15 years old because they don't even make that kind anymore. It's was breast cancer awareness that they made, I think, 1 year, and I snatched it up.
They're best hand washed, by the way.
Yes,
that's
do not.
why- that's mine. I think over dishwashing time.
Yeah, do not
They
dishwash.
kind of rusted it out. And things,
So
but
I
it-
take my, and they know who, they're like, oh my gosh, that's the coolest one. So the best, here's a hack, a life hack for anybody going to the fair. Go buy one of your mugs from Wild West. Don't have them put anything in it. Go over to the ice cream booth.
Ooh.
Pay your $4 for 2 scoops of ice cream. Put it in your metal can.
And then head
Go
back.
back to Wild West.
Get you some root
and
beer.
then have them fill up with root beer, cream soda,
Nice.
sarsaparilla. I mean, they've got all kinds of flavors.
I got to
and
have
you-
that debate with him. Like the difference between root beer and sarsaparilla.
It's slightly different.
Is it?
Yes,
I didn't know if
because
it was like a violin fiddle thing or there was a difference.
it kind of is like violin fiddle type thing, but it is because my kids and I had this debate Monday night.
Okay.
Because I was like, I'm getting my sarsaparilla. They're like, it's just glorified root beer. I'm like, actually, it's slightly different.
Yeah.
And so if you get a root beer and you get a sarsaparilla and you taste them, the sarsaparilla is more like licoricey, I would have to say, than root beer.
Then I'm going to probably say I'm probably more of a root beer than a
Yes.
sarsaparilla.
See, and I love black licorice,
I'm
so
not a
I
licorice
love
guy.
sarsaparilla.
Yeah, I'm not any licorice fan, but black licorice I hate. I'll eat red or I'll eat it if that's what there is.
But you can ask them for a taste, and they'll give you a little taster so you can see what.
And to be honest, I think when I've had sarsaparilla, I just tasted root beer because I just, because your brain does that too.
Well, and it depends
know?
on where you go, because some companies, they just call root beer sarsaparilla.
Sure. And it's kind of, you know what? You're the same savages that call Canadian bacon ham.
Yeah, exactly. And it's almost the same, but not quite.
Yeah, same savages. I got an argument with a pizza lady on the phone like years ago. And I was like, I would like Canadian bacon and pineapple or whatever I asked for. And she's like, you want ham? I said, did I say ham?
That's
I said,
right.
Canadian bacon. We don't have Canadian bacon. We have ham. I said, well, I want Canadian. She goes, well, I'll give you ham. I said, they're not the same.
They're not the same.
I went into this whole thing about
They're
ham.
similar, but they're not the same.
I ended up getting a hamburger. But anyway.
All right, so just real quick.
Chamber events, yes.
Yes, so real quick, because we've got just a few coming up on the 7th, which is, oh my gosh, is that tomorrow?
Yeah.
Tomorrow, Roswell Skin Center, we are having a business after hours.
Oh, very good.
And then we're done for October.
So they looking at people while they're there and say, hey, you come on.
Right.
back.
Well, so it'll be cool. They'll have all kinds of, obviously business after hours. We have good giveaways.
Sure.
And great networking.
Bring your business card and $1 if you'd like to participate in the
That's
drawing.
right.
Yeah.
Then in November, we actually have 3. It's a special exception that we're making.
Okay.
So we've got business after hours, Christmas by Krebs. And business after hours at El Toro Bravo.
Ooh.
They have done some major remodeling.
Nice.
And they've had to push back their business after hours a couple of times because of their remodeling.
I'm not observant at all. I get distracted by the food. I could be sitting in a bomb shelter. I'm like, the food's
me
good,
too.
don't matter to me.
So those are our 2 big ones. And then Kiwanis is having a business after hours over at Backdraft Barbecue.
Yes, yeah, they're doing.
And-
just 16th, I think. Is
Yes,
that right?
so we've got the 7th tomorrow, Roswell Skin Center. November 4th is Christmas by Krebs. November 15th is Kiwanis at Backdraft Barbecue.
Awesome.
And if you have not had barbecue yet in this town, which I don't know why you wouldn't have,
Backdrafts is. I
Paul
haven't been in there since they've
Thompson
been.
at Backdraft, and they just got their liquor license.
Oh, so
so
they can
come
serve
in for
beverages.
a pint and
Nice.
some of his pulled pork. Oh my gosh, it's
I gotta
delicious.
confess, I have not had a chance to go over there since they've been in the brick and mortar place. But I would get their food at the truck all the time,
And he's out there at the fair
and it's
next
on
to
point.
Wild West Drinks.
Yeah, it's on point. It's well, I've had a couple things and they were both delicious.
It's
I
all-
had their nachos.
I've had it all.
I had the sandwich that's got like everything on it. What's that called?
Yes.
I can't remember what it's called, but it's on point.
Oh yeah. It's so okay. Full disclosure: Paul Thompson is a friend of mine. He's my neighbor, and while he was, coming up with all of his barbecue and his own sauce and stuff, he'd call my husband and I, and
guinea
he'd
pig,
be,
yeah.
oh yeah, he'd be
Nice.
like, okay, so I just smoked a brisket. We're in. Come on.
I love being guinea pigs for neighbors.
That's right.
I wish my neighbors were more cooking worthy. They don't cook
So,
for me.
and then on the 18th is El Toro Bravo. So
Awesome.
we've got some pretty cool stuff going on.
Are they still doing that pandemic special? Probably not. I used to love that deal where you can get like 30 tacos or 30
Probably.
enchiladas for like $20 or something.
Probably because that,
Yeah.
like at my house, since I
Yeah.
do have gobs and gobs of children
Yeah.
that are now teenagers, the 4 taco thing doesn't work. We
Yeah.
need 30 tacos.
Yeah, I remember we got it and it was just Kim and I, but we ordered it. It was like $20. This big thing. We were eating tacos for like 3 days, but oh man, it
But
was
they're
good.
delicious.
Well, it was like our refrigerator turned into a taco vending machine. You just walk by, like,
awesome.
want a taco? Here you go, and then pull a taco out.
Oh, I love it. Well, I've got teenagers, and my oldest is an 18-year-old boy, so that goes
Oh,
to
yeah.
Nemi.
They
So when he
inhale
brings
everything.
his buddies, you've got to have 25 pounds of whatever it is that you're serving.
I know. I bet. And you once you see this tray of tacos, it's pretty impressive. I bet one of these Nimi kid, your son, eats the
Oh,
whole
yeah.
thing by themselves. I
Oh,
bet they could do
probably.
it.
He
Even-
totally could.
Even though that's ungodly horrible, I bet because I remember I was at
Oh,
that
they
age. And
absolutely would.
When I was 18, I remember I go to McDonald's and I could eat like 4 Big Macs in one setting and then not be full and
Yeah.
be ready to eat. Tear up
Well,
some
when
more
we
food and
deliver
stuff. Yeah.
food, my son will text me. He's like, okay, can you go get us dinner tonight? And I'm like, okay, I need you to, who is us?
Yeah.
Is us you and your best friend?
Yeah.
Is us the whole, squad?
Yeah.
Like, who's us? Define us, and then we'll go from there. But we've been known to, my husband and I have been known to take 10 pizzas
Mm-hmm.
or, flats of tacos. My husband loves to smoke and barbecue and stuff, so we'll take flats. Like during last year, during the pandemic, when those poor kids were in lockdown, I would roll up. I'd have everything in the back of my car, and we'd have pans of just food, and I'd pop the back. They'd come and take it, and I know I was feeding, a whole stoop.
Yeah, and they would eat. I mean, I remember thankful. Back in the day, like you get a large pizza from like Domino's or Papa John's or something. And I'd eat that whole thing.
Yeah,
by myself.
I remember
a large pizza, And now if I thought about that, I'm like, I'd be in a casket if I tried
I could
doing
eat
something
a
like
whole
that nowadays.
in high school. I could eat a whole pan pizza, or the thick crust from large size from Pizza Hut with the thick crust, and it was no big deal.
Yeah,
and now I have
thing.
like 2 slices, and I'm like, I'm good.
Yeah, it stinks in one aspect, but other aspect, it's like it's nice because now I'm a cheaper date. But
right. Exactly.
But I know that feeling here. So definitely get involved with these business after hours. Definitely come out again.
Yep.
Again, we got tomorrow night tonight for the Roswell Skincare Center. Right?
No, that's tomorrow, the 7th.
7th. I thought you said tonight for some reason.
No,
So
it's the 7th.
night.
I know, because today's Wednesday. It feels, because it's Fair Week.
Yeah, I'm off kilter.
I'm off kilter as
That's
well.
Thursday night. Tomorrow night.
Tomorrow, Thursday.
5:30.
All business after hours are on Thursdays, unless there's some certain special exception that we need to change it. And they always start at 5.
Yes.
And go to 6:30, because I was trying to change the times on poor Liz the last time I was here. And she's like, no, that's not working.
But and it's a come and go event, so if you don't get off work till 5:30 or
it's not a big
6,
deal.
Come on down.
The whole purpose is to network, to showcase the business that's there.
Yeah.
And that's obviously just one aspect of what the chamber does, because I know in the past everybody was like, oh, well, that's all you do. No, that's just one thing that we do. And as long as our members want us to do business after hours, I'm doing business after hours.
Yeah. Oh, real quick, Sheriff's Luncheon, is that on the tap for this month?
It is at the moment, but we're going to verify with him today because he had to cancel last
time
month.
because unfortunately the way it lined up, they just fall right around county commission meeting, right around that same time.
And we're at his mercy.
Sure.
So if the sheriff has something that has to come up, then he's got to go be the sheriff, and it is what it is.
That's part of the elected part of being sheriff. It's not all fun and games and doing cop stuff. He's got to do
well, and sometimes it is cop stuff that at the last minute he's like, so something blew up, I got to go.
That's true, too. It's not all red tape either. So definitely true. Is there anything we missed?
I think we got everything. Liz hasn't texted me. Kyle hasn't texted me. And I'll be looking for the magazine. As always, we're right there where it's going to the printer. So be looking at all. We're at the mercy of paper shortages and the post office now.
So it is putting a delay there on that.
Yeah, we got an email from our printer that said, we are just FYI, we're going to do our best, but they see it coming.
Okay. So hopefully it's not, but I guess worst case scenario, it'll be a digital version, I guess.
It'll get printed. You're going to have something in your mailbox. It just might not be, tomorrow.
Gotcha. Very good, but more to come as we get information there. Awesome. Well, thank you, ma'am, as always.
Thank you.
And we'll see you next time, okay?
All right. Thank you.
Get on out to the fair, everybody.
Woohoo, fair day.
9:57. Let's do a quick business update and break before we wrap up the show. Don't go away.
And tonight, this will be played at the Goddard Gym starting at 6:30. Goddard coming off a sweep against Carlsbad on Tuesday. The Rockets are 10-3. Roswell lost a pair over the weekend to Cleveland and Rio Rancho, and the Coyotes are 5-10 overall. Also, volleyball tonight. You've got NMMI against Ruidoso. The Colts are 4-10. They just lost to Hagerman in a sweep on Tuesday. Hagerman, by the way, is 8-6. Also tonight, Dexter hosting Eunice. Eunice is 9-3. That game starts at 6 o'clock. And Gateway Christian, with a sparkling 12-1 record, plays a winless Floyd team. That starts at 5:30. Lake Arthur, seeking its second victory of the season, will be playing host to Dora at 5:30. The Sports Report brought to you by DSI. Call DSI for all your office technology needs. I'm Eric Butler at Roswell Talk FM 106.5.
Your home for Coast to Coast AM in Roswell, 106.5, Roswell's Talk FM, KEND, Roswell, New Mexico.
I'm Rich Thomason. Texas Right to Life calls it wildly broad, referring to a judge's ruling that bars enforcement of the Texas Heartbeat Act.
Federal District Judge Robert Pittman calls a Texas law that bans most abortions in the state an unprecedented statutory scheme to deprive women of their constitutional right to an abortion. The law, known as SB 8, signed by Republican Governor Greg Abbott, prohibits abortions once cardiac activity is detected, which is usually around 6 weeks. It also deputizes private citizens to sue abortion providers with the promise of at least $10,000 in damages if successful. Abbott's administration is expected to appeal Pittman's ruling. I'm Tim McGuire.
With the Biden administration talking about sicking the FBI on parents who raise a fuss at school board meetings, Florida Governor Ron DeSantis promising to fight efforts to silence concerned parents through intimidation. Former President Trump complains, looks like Mitch McConnell is folding to the Democrats again.
Congress appears to be pulling back from a potential first-ever default by the U.S. government after Senate Republican leader Mitch McConnell offered to allow an emergency extension of the nation's borrowing cap into December. McConnell made his offer Wednesday, thus heading off a GOP plan to block legislation that would have extended the debt limit to December of 2022.
We're, trading paper. That's what you always do at this point.
Democrats appeared receptive to the offer. What hasn't changed is the October 18th deadline by which Congress has to act to raise the debt limit. Mike Gracia, Washington.
The number of Americans applying for unemployment benefits fell 38,000 last week from the week before. 326,000 claims for benefits filed last week. Wall Street, the Dow's up 478 points. The NASDAQ, 204 points higher. More on these stories at townhall.com.
One listener that stands out that I worked with was this older couple that was interested in refinancing. They reached out to a few different lenders. Their credit wasn't the best. I know some of these other bigger banks, you just won't hear back from them, which I cannot stand. Not everybody has the 780 credit scores, and just because you don't qualify at one time doesn't mean that you'll never qualify. I'll walk you through what you have to do, whether it's 2, 3, 6 months from now. Back to that older couple, we worked with them for months and months to improve their credit, and we were able to get the loan done. We were saving them hundreds each month, thousands of dollars a year, finally got themselves into a situation financially that they can handle, and they could start saving money each month for retirement. End of the day, they just could not be happier, which just put a huge smile on my face.
We are United Faith Mortgage.
United Faith Mortgage is a DBA of United Mortgage Corp. 25 Melville Park Road, Melville, New York. Licensed mortgage banker. For all licensing information, go to NMLSconsumeraccess.org. Corporate NMLS number 1330. Equal housing lender. Licensed in Alaska, Hawaii, Georgia, Massachusetts, North Dakota, South Dakota, or Utah.
The World Health Organization sending coronavirus medical supplies to North Korea.
WHO said in a weekly monitoring report that it has started the shipment of essential COVID-19 medical supplies through the Chinese port of Dalian for strategic stockpiling and further dispatch to North Korea. Edwin Salvador, WHO's representative to North Korea, said in an email to the Associated Press that some items, including emergency health kits and medicine, have reached the North Korean port of Nampo after North Korean authorities allowed the WHO and other UN agencies to send supplies that had been stuck in Dalian. I'm Zeria Shakili.
Russia has the potential to boost natural gas supplies to Europe, according to the Kremlin, which adds existing gas transit routes allow for bolstering supplies before the new Nord Stream pipeline goes online. Townhall.com. Big U.S. convenience store chain about to set up shop in India.
India's Reliance Retail Ventures says it has set a franchise agreement with 7-Eleven to launch convenience stores in the second most populous nation. Reliance says the stores will first be launched in the financial hub of Mumbai. The announcement comes just days after rival Future Retail pulled out of an agreement with 7-Eleven.
That's correspondent Jeremy House. Texas Governor Greg Abbott hosting 9 fellow Republican governors in Mission, Texas. GOP governors proposing 10 steps they say President Biden could take to end the crisis along the southern border. And Governor Abbott says that so far the president has turned a deaf ear to the governor's concerns, ignoring them. And the president today will head to Chicago. He'll be there to push for COVID vaccine mandates. More on these stories at townhall.com.
What in the wide, wide world of sports is going on here?
I promise you, whatever scum did this, not one man on this force will rest for 1 minute until he's behind bars. Now let's grab a bite to eat. Yeah, come on.
I feel the hot wind on my shoulder and the touch of a world that is older. I hit the switch and check the number. I leave it on and then I slumber. I hear the rhythm ringing through it. Flamenco guitar and cumbia music. I hear the talking of the DJ. The Javelin, what does he say? I'm on a Mexican radio. I'm on a Mexican radio.
Broadcasting live from high atop the J.P. White Building in downtown Roswell, New Mexico. It's Mornings with Mike Winters on 106.5 Roswell's Talk FM.
Is that what I sound like when I talk?
Now, here's your host, Mike Winters.
And good morning. It is 6 minutes after 8 o'clock. Welcome to hour number 2.
The Deuce.
Mornings with Mike Winters, right here on 106.5 Roswell's Talk FM. Happy Thursday.
Yeah.
It is Thursday.
It is. It has become Thursday, my dudes.
Yeah, and I know this. I know people are calling Thomas saying, hey, Mike keeps saying Wednesday. We were playing an interview from Wednesday yesterday, so
there you go.
They missed the beginning where I said this is a replay from yesterday. So,
in fairness,
I know it's today. Thank you.
The reason DJs say the day so much is because we forget half the time. swear to God, if I don't say it every break, I'm gonna be like, oh, for your Wednesday, Thursday morning. Yep.
They bleed together.
Mm-hmm.
I ain't gonna lie. But any other job does that too.
Right.
How many times do you get lost? Oh, is it Tuesday or Thursday? I can't remember, you know?
Well, just ask Trent Reznor. Every day is exactly the same.
And if we learned anything from Garfield, we all hate Mondays.
Mm-hmm. Tuesdays aren't looking good either. Let's be honest.
Well, happy Thursday.
Yes.
It is, what's that thing you say, pentameter or something or another?
No, penultimate.
Yeah, that.
The penultimate day of your week.
Yeah, that thing.
Mm-hmm. It's not the ultimate, it's the penultimate.
He just wants to say 5, because that's what like pentagon, if you think about it.
Yeah. It's only 4 syllables, though.
I know, but it's a 5-sided
Actually,
thing.
that's the sad thing. I had to count like penultimate. Yep.
Yeah, when you say penta something or other, that means 5.
No. I guess the 4th of the 5th. I don't know. It's basically like title versus subtitle.
Yeah.
So ultimate versus sub-ultimate.
Okay.
Yeah.
That's why I'm a DJ. I fail math. I don't do math and science. I don't know what people don't listen to me. They're like, hey, you're pretty smart. No, I'm not. I'm not smart. I read things.
Yeah.
But when it comes to math and science, I know I'm very stupid.
You know what's really funny is my brain works in the weird way that I don't like learn things, but I pick up catchphrases and like slogans, and they like get stuck in here. And that's what helps me in advertising, because I can just like pull out random like, words that rhyme or alliterations and, like get the keisters out of the bleachers, I just have random words like that in my head. And that helps for advertising. Not much else.
I do have a lot of those words myself, as I say on a daily basis. Because people are like, what do you say? What word is that you just used?
Did he say variety?
That's true. I make up my own words too.
That's right.
I mean, that's when the world is your vocabulary. You get to think of it like a chef. But my ingredients are words. Sometimes I'll be like, yeah, I know it's supposed to be salt in this recipe, but I'm going to pull salta.
Salta.
I'm going to make.
That's right. Sometimes you go pink Himalayan, sometimes you go black rock. You never know which kind of salts you're going to use.
Sometimes I'll sprinkle in another word.
The mark of a true genius in the kitchen or behind the microphone is one who knows the ingredients that they have before them and utilizes those ingredients in new and exciting ways.
Mm-hmm. Get ready for pot pie next hour.
Dude, I've been having a serious, like hardcore craving for dumplings, for chicken and dumplings.
You know what? Funny you mentioned that. Just a week ago, I had mentioned to my wife, it's about time to do some chicken and dumplings. I just said it last weekend.
It's that time of year, man. It's soup season.
Yeah. Now, in our household, we like it generally more cooler fall when we start busting these out. but I don't know if I want to wait that long.
Now, are you a dumpling heavy man, or are you more of a chicken heavy man?
Well, see, here's the whole world of chicken and dumplings. I've gone two worlds with this.
Okay.
Because my mother, growing up, made chicken and dumplings way different than everybody else makes.
I'm guessing traditionally with the drop biscuits, like the biscuit.
No, not even. It was she made her own biscuits, drop biscuit style, but instead of serving it in one dish, she would cook like whole chicken and then have this sauce with the dumplings, and then it pour it over.
Really?
So it was whole chicken with the dumplings and the sauce. It was a whole thing. And then, of course,
it's less of a super stew and more of just like an actual
That's
meal.
how I grew up eating chicken and dumplings.
Okay.
Then I met my wife, and here I am now, and she makes them the way most people think of them.
Sure.
So, and her style is get like the biscuit dough mix, drop them in.
Now, I will say this: I love the drop biscuits, like the actual biscuit, all that. But I will say this: some of the best, by far, best biscuits and gravy I've ever had chicken dumplings I've ever had in my life were done with the biscuits, like the can of biscuits, just torn up.
That's what she does.
Well, some people do like torn up biscuits. Some people actually like mix the biscuit dough like with the Bisquick, and that's good. But then you get those little flour pellets.
No. Kim just strictly goes.
Just rip up biscuits and
that's
the best.
Yes.
Because then you get them little like the little shiny hard ones at the bottom that are like, that's the best. I love it. It's got the right like al dente.
And she uses thigh meat, dark meat.
Yes, you gotta.
Okay, I didn't know if that was like other people use white meat.
A lot of people do like the white, but if you're going with a stew or a soup, I always feel like the dark meat is the more flavorful. That's where I'm
a dark meat.
It's
guy,
flavor country.
So I eat it all. Ain't nobody going.
You ever seen a chicken walk? It's just they got that sexy strut. It's because they keep all their flavor in their thighs.
I'll suck on a chicken neck
after they're dead, right?
Maybe.
Okay. Not here to judge. It's 2021.
When I was a kid, and my grandmother, she'd like take out the gizzards and cut them up and feed them to the dogs. I'm like, hey. I'll eat them gizzards. I like I was one of those weird people who eat the gizzards.
I still to this day love livers and gizzards. It's like one of my go-tos. Like, and a lot of the gas stations I grew up with, were like bait shops, and you could always go in and get the chicken, the livers and gizzards. Some people did them for bait. I used to get them to munch on as I was walking. Oh, it's the best.
Hey, real quick, Keon Agar, when Dr. Agar over at Carabelli Dental, he always says my mouth's boring, nothing exciting going on. And I would say I have a very strict training regimen when it comes to that stuff. And I think some of my, it's like my legs. Like everyone used to jokes about how big I don't exercise much at all.
Right.
But back in the day, I hiked a lot.
It's all residual, right?
Yeah. So I think I got residual jaw thing because I would, on occasion, and this was a regular deal for a good couple months, where I would swing by once when I worked in Artesia, I'd hit the Brewer Oil on the way out of town to get a beverage or something. Yeah. And once in a while, they'd have fried gizzards. And I'd see it, and I'd be like, so I'd literally buy a tray of these fried gizzards and just sit there driving back to Roswell.
Just chewing on sinew meat. Yep. Just that gristle and it's the best.
I loved it.
Yeah.
And but your jaw gets a little tired after about 20 minutes into that ride. But I would like to say that training allows Dr. Keon Agar to say I have a boring mouth.
I would say that I would argue though that the benefit that you've given to your jaw is outweighed by the damage that you've done to your teeth.
Well, I don't know.
I'm pretty sure that as far as his game goes, I'm pretty sure the teeth are more important.
Well, I believe in the what doesn't kill you make you stronger philosophy. So, didn't kill me. My teeth are Chuck Norris.
That's the thing, though. Here's what from a doctor's perspective, what you don't realize is what doesn't kill you, they have to fix.
Yeah.
So that's what they're thinking about. They're like, yeah, it doesn't kill you, but it's going to kill my weekend.
Ooh. I got a try this chicken and dumpling for you, Sean.
Okay.
I got a suggestion that the best chicken and dumplings is made with the Red Lobster biscuit mix that you can get at the stores. I think Sam's
Cheddar
got
Bay
them.
biscuit. Yes, I didn't even think about that. Ooh, you make up your biscuits for that sounds amazing.
I'm in. I'm down with that.
It was that pro tip from who I think it was from?
Andrew.
That's what I was gonna say. Thank you, Andrew. That's awesome.
Yeah. So
dang.
Man.
I just got my mouth set up for some chicken dumplings. honestly.
I ain't gonna lie, I want some fried gizzards. Oh, I'm like, I had some fried gizzards right now. I just want to sit here and snack on them.
Honestly, I think I've got dinner plans set now.
Yeah, it's like sweet. All right. Well, I guess some people I thought this guy liked food. Because he's always talking about food, but he had a whole love affair with Spam one day, and then now he's talking about gizzards.
Hey, when you love food, you love all food. Hey. You can't discriminate.
Coming up tomorrow, Fried Bologna Day.
Oh, dude, don't even get me started. It's like the national sandwich or the state sandwich of Oklahoma.
That's right. All right, it is 8:15. I haven't even done the rundown or nothing, have I?
Yeah, no.
I've got sidetracked on geezers. Here's what we got on tap for this hour of the show. We'll get you up to date with the weather here in just a few. Then here about 8:15 or so, we'll go ahead and get the folks from Job Corps on the phone. I think it'll be Joanne Lopez. Might be some others joining us, and we'll get an update on Job Corps from them. And then later on this hour, we'll get you up to date with local news along with your town hall business update and whatever else we can come up with for this hour of the show. 8:16, before we do anything else, let's take a look at that weather. Warmer weather coming up and then cooler after that.
I'm meteorologist Steve Hamilton with your Pecos Valley weather. High pressure over central New Mexico and West Texas, and that'll keep us fair for the next few days. Pretty warm, too. Our afternoon high today will be in the low 90s with sunshine. Partly cloudy overnight and down to the mid-50s. Looks like low 90s and sunny again tomorrow, maybe a little bit breezy in the afternoon. 95 on Saturday, low 80s Sunday. That's your latest forecast. I'm meteorologist Steve Hamilton.
Thank you, Steve. I didn't refresh my weather. Let me refresh it, see if I can get a fresher weather. There it is. Currently 59 degrees here in Roswell. Humidity is at 62%. Winds currently out of the northeast at 3 miles per hour. Sunny today. Expect highs around 91, so a bit warmer than yesterday. Northwest winds 5 to 10 miles per hour. Tonight, partly cloudy. Overnight low of 56 degrees with south winds 5 to 10. For you Friday, sunny, 92 tomorrow. Winds are going to be out of the south, 10 to 15 miles per hour. Saturday, we're looking at sunny skies and a high of 95. South winds early, 5 to 10, but picking up for Saturday afternoon, 15 to 20 miles per hour. And with those winds, that's bringing in cooler temperatures for Sunday. Sunny skies, high of 82. So we're going to drop about close to, 13, 12 degrees there overnight there. And then Columbus Day. On Monday, sunny skies, a high of 84. And then 82 and breezy Tuesday, dropping down into the low 70s by midweek next week. So, of course, we got a few days between now and then, so we'll see how that shapes up. But for today, tomorrow, and Saturday, warmer temperatures in store. Good, fair weather. Go out and enjoy. All right, it is 8:17. We're going to take a 4-minute break. And then we're going to get the folks from Job Corps on the phone. On the other side of the break, don't go away. You're listening to Mornings with Mike Winters.
What a great time of year this is. Leaves are changing, pecans are falling, and that feeling of autumn is in the air. Along with the change of seasons, your friends at the Tailgate Nation Roswell Ford suggested it may be time for a change of vehicles. And at Roswell Ford, there's no shortage of good, clean, late model cars and trucks that will serve your family for many years. For instance, right now, Roswell Ford has a beautiful 2020 Ford F-150 Lariat Crew Cab 4x4 with only 26,000 miles, and it's only $54,980. Oh, and here's a great deal on an SUV, a 2018 Ford Explorer XLT with less than 42,000 miles for just $28,980. They'll go fast, so you better hurry. Remember, Roswell Ford backs up all their pre-owned vehicles with a 3-day money-back guarantee, so you don't have to worry about making a mistake. And if you have a lightly used car or truck, Roswell Ford wants to see it. You'll probably be surprised how much it's worth. Whether you're thinking of buying or thinking of selling, come see us at Roswell Ford, the Tailgate Nation.
Meat prices are skyrocketing and supply lines are getting pushed further out. How do you plan to wake up every morning knowing you have beef in the freezer? Runyon Cattle has the answer. Get a half beef or whole beef today. A whole beef will feed a family of 4 for about a year. For less than $15 a day, you can skip the store and wake up knowing you have beef in the freezer. Call Runyon Cattle at 760-5655. That's 760-5655. Delivered to your home freezer. The Artesia Arts Council presents the return of Art in the Park. Friday and Saturday, October 15th and 16th at JC Park in Artesia. Friday night from 4 to 9, come out for lots of free arts and crafts. crafts, plenty of awesome food trucks, and a night chock full of all sorts of live performances. The festival continues Saturday from 9 to 4, including the Artesia High School Band Cakewalk. There's something for everyone, and best of all, admission is absolutely free. Art in the Park, Friday and Saturday, October 15th and 16th at JC Park, 1710 North 26th Street. Ad paid for by Artesia Lodgers Tax.
The news has been hard to watch lately. It seems we live in a climate of fear and too often of hate. Part of me wonders if the world is getting worse, but then I think about history. I'm not sure if the world is getting worse as much as we've just gotten better at getting our news reports faster. A question I keep asking our congregation is, what is the church's responsibility? I know we're to pray for a kinder, safer world, but there's got to be more that we can do. I know I can't change everything that's going on in the world, but I know I can change a little bit of what happens here in Roswell. I need to practice and teach all of those around me to love like Jesus does. To love in spite of color, political background, or national heritage. To love the poor, the middle class, and even the rich. To help the hurting and encourage those who are struggling. To be grateful to all who impact my life and the lives of others around me. This might not change the whole world, but it might change a little bit of my community.
Join us at the Country Club Road Church of Christ for worship at 10 a.m. on Sunday, located on the corner of Country Club and Washington in Roswell.
Times are changing, and today's funerals aren't always the sad and solemn events you might expect. This is Gabriel Casaus from Lagrone Funeral Chapel. Along with hymns and scriptures, today's funeral services are often filled with fish stories, country songs, and a joke or two, golf clubs and hot rods, favorite recipes, and kitchen disasters. At Lagrone Funeral Chapel, we believe a funeral should reflect your loved one's personality, passion, and sense of humor. When you lose a loved one, we're here, because at Lagrone Funeral Chapel and Crematory, we make it personal.
900 South Main, Roswell.
New Mexico Wool Growers, Inc. is the oldest trade organization in the state, promoting and cultivating the production of wool, mohair, sheep, and goats. New Mexico has a long history of sheep herding and wool production. New Mexico Wool Growers, Inc. encourages the future of the industry through sponsorship of the Shepherd and Sheep Wool Lead. Learn more about New Mexico Wool Growers at nmagriculture.org or call 505-247-0584.
Here's a Mornings with Mike Winters fun fact. You cannot snore and dream at the same time, unless you're dreaming about snoring. Here's Mike Winters.
And good morning. It is 22 minutes after 8 o'clock, and joining us on the phone this morning, we have the folks from Job Corps. Can you hear me okay, guys?
Yes, sir.
Awesome. Yes. Well, Roy took my list, but Joanne Lopez is there. David Lawrence is there, and then he took my list. Oh, here he's coming. I got my list here. And then we also have Eton Rosram. Am I saying that right, or did I botch it already?
It's okay. We botched it, but it's okay.
And Mary Trotto also in the room there. Good morning, everybody. I apologize for butchering everybody's name. How's everybody doing out at Job Corps today?
Oh, great.
Good deal. Well, before we kind of talk and get updates and everything, for folks that aren't familiar with Job Corps, it's a huge national organization. Is it international or national? But anyway, national. And you may have heard about it all. You know, it's a program for young people to and I always say it's for people that generally the traditional path of doing things just isn't the path for them. You know, we always talk about going to school, go to college, get the job. You know, that pattern of how we're supposed to go and achieve success in life. Well, that pattern doesn't always work for other people, but that doesn't mean they're not skilled, talented people. They just don't receive. You know, sitting in a classroom doesn't work as well for them as other people does. You know, and things like that. So, Job Corps is that program that gives individuals an opportunity to achieve success and to get into programs and things of interest to them so they can pursue careers in these various fields. And it presents it in a way that, you know, it's different. It's not like when you went to school and, you know, for whatever reason, life doesn't work that way. And that's Job Corps is really about just helping people achieve success through untraditional ways. I guess, is that a pretty good assessment, or am I off base?
I think you need to come work for Job Corps. You can market for us. You did very well. And one of the things you did miss up there is that everything the student is offered here is free.
Yes.
There's no charge at all. If the student needs, a GED, all the testing, all the books, everything is free. We are a campus that students can live on. I just totally lost the word, guys.
Hey, Mike, this is Dave Lawrence. Let me jump in here for Joanne. She hasn't had a coffee yet this morning. But you're right on the money. We are a full residential facility. We also let our local students that qualify to come to our center also be a non-res student. We obviously cater to ages 16 to 24. But students who are people who are older than that have a disability that we can justify can also come into the program. But yeah, full residential. We have a full wellness program, recreation facilities, pretty much the whole 9 yards. I mean, 3 squares a day, a nice place to lay their head in the evenings. So. It's kind of a hidden secret, but you're right. It's national. About 125 Job Corps throughout the nation. We have one in Albuquerque and also one in El Paso. So around that area is what most of our students that are around here go to, either ours or the one in Albuquerque or El Paso.
Yeah.
But
you're right on the money with it.
And in addition, Mike, we have a driver's ed program on center. We try to ensure that each of our students graduate with the driver's license in hand. We also have the English language learning program, which is a big deal for us. And we provide them with fundamental employability skills, so when they leave here, they're ready to go into the workforce and they know what it's about.
Excellent. Yeah, like you're saying, when you're talking about the English as a second language, that side of thing, that's valuable for a lot of people that are trying to get to the point where they can get a GED or a
You bet.
high school diploma.
And we've had some successes with students that come on center and they don't know a lick of English, and they leave some of our top graduates and speaking great English.
That's awesome. That's great, and that's the great thing about it. It's an opportunity for these young individuals, and I want to say kids, but they're not. These are young adults, teenagers and young adults. And it's great to see, because it's easy in this world to get lost as a number, and it's just, there's so much going on, and it's easy for people that just didn't find success, the traditional ways to kind of get turned down to a road of tough stuff. It's hard to make a living when you don't have a diploma. It's hard to make a living when you don't have skill sets to do things. And that's where Job Corps is like, no, we're going to get you all this. And guess what? You're going to, by the time we're done with you, if you stick with the program, and you're going to be in a place where you can write your own ticket in a career field that has an awesome earning potential, and basically your ability to achieve what we call the American dream. You now got the foundation to go get that, and that's what it's all about.
Absolutely. We provide the tools and support, but it's up to the student what they get out of Job Corps. It's really up to them. But all the tools will be here, and we will definitely support them even after the graduation.
Yeah, absolutely. It's an amazing program. As far as what's going on right now, I know COVID has definitely put a hampering on how you guys operate over the last 2 years. I know, here in the last couple months, you guys are making a huge push to try to get back to a normalcy type thing at Job Corps. But as far as like where you guys are at right now, how is Job Corps in the world of COVID?
So Job Corps in the world of COVID is pretty interesting. So currently we do not have a lot of students on our center. The students that are on our center were on pre-COVID.
Okay.
So these are the students that were sent home because of COVID. So these students are all finishing up.
Okay.
So we're graduating students right now left and right.
Cool.
As of right now, we do not have the approval to start new students, but we are putting students on a wait list.
You're building up rosters, basically.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay.
Once we get that approval, we have students ready to go.
Gotcha.
It will start once we get the approval. The first 60 days will be virtual for students,
okay.
and we will give their Chromebook and their hotspot, so they don't even have to worry about having internet access.
Awesome. Now, I'm sorry.
Days after that, then they come on center to start the program.
Okay. So really this could, if you play your cards right, this could be a blessing in disguise. So if you're just learning about the program and you're thinking, man, this is something I really want to do, but now you're not really behind the 8 ball to get everything rushed to get into the program. Now you got time to kind of really research and find the paths. You know what I mean? You can really kind of sit down and break down and tear apart all the different programs and be like, yeah, that sounds, because sometimes you're like, look through it and you're like, yeah, that sounds interesting. And then you read something else. You know what? And now you really get to sit and decide what avenue within Job Corps you want to pursue, whether, maybe you want to do culinary arts, maybe you want to do drywalls and stuff. Maybe it's something else that's you kind of get a grace period now to kind of figure out what speaks to you more, if that makes sense.
It actually does make sense. We have had quite a few students who have been on our wait list who, as they're waiting, they're doing more research into Job Corps, and then they call us and say, hey, I know I signed up to do electrical wiring, but I'm really interested in computers. Mm-hmm. Can you tell me some more about some of the other centers that offer IT programs? So I've actually had 2 this past week that called for that exact reason.
Yeah, and that's the beauty of this. You can do that and get all that. So if you're interested in doing this, let's start the process now. Let's start getting, the paperwork lined up, starting to talk with the staff here and getting applications in and getting that whole process started. So when these guys get the green light to say, guess what, game on, let's start doing a new class, you guys can roll in and get rolling with everything. And all you as a student need to do is just start the program. And that's
exactly.
Great. Yeah.
And as Eton said, once approved, the first 60 days would be virtual.
Gotcha.
And then they have 10 days after that to arrive to center. And our center is very safety conscious, and every student will be drug tested upon arrival.
Gotcha.
Yeah, and that's a big deal. We have a zero tolerance policy. So, and that way, students can study in a safe environment. They don't need to have all the ups and downs that go with craziness.
Well, and that's also part of, when we talk about Job Corps, we talk about all the great things, but you also have to build an environment so that they have the best chance for success. And I don't care what you're trying to study or become, whether it's an artist or a tax attorney or whatever it is, you need to be in an environment to concentrate and focus on that craft. And that's what you guys strive to do and eliminate. And let's face it, I imagine many folks that come to Job Corps, they probably had many distractions or many things in life that kind of stopped them from doing things they wanted to do. Part of what you guys do in Job Corps is to help eliminate some of that distraction to say, no, we need to focus you on the task at hand here. And that's kind of why you're, stringent on all these policies and things. Just kind of giving an explanation for folks on that.
Absolutely. I'm going to have Mr. Lawrence talk a little bit about the academic offerings and the trade offerings.
All right, yeah, so, and we talked about it a little bit before, Mike, so we are I want to put it this way, we're a vocational program that does offer an academic piece. Mm-hmm. And I think that's probably the biggest draw with Job Corps is that, we do offer some great vocational training that you can make good money in doing if you can complete the program. So we have 3 hard trades on our center, and that is electrical wiring, building construction technology, carpentry, and then we also have painting. And then we have protective services, and then we have a full automotive program, which is a maintenance and light repair program.
Nice.
So that program kind of prepares the student to go out to be lube techs, and then work their way up to be master auto mechanics. So that's kind of our goal there.
Sure, and every one of those careers are in demand and well-paying. So.
Oh, absolutely, and for especially like diesel and some other things. I mean, right now that's big, especially now that the industry for oil and gas is back up. So a lot of people are hiring out in the field for those types of situations as well.
Sure. Imagine too with the lack of new car inventory, more people are trying to get more life out of their vehicles and things. Which means
that's true. I mean, all you got to do is drive around Roswell and look at the car dealerships, and they're pretty empty right now.
Yeah, so
good point.
more mechanics are needed. So
yeah, absolutely. And then we have a great partnership with ENMUR, which we've had for a long, long time, and we offer our EMT and our CNA trades over there. So that's our emergency medical technician and our certified nursing assistant program, and then we also have our office administration trade that we use. So great partnership with those guys over there.
Yeah.
That we use, and then students can also, once they complete a vocational program here on center, they can actually enroll in what we call our ACT program, which is our advanced college training through the college. Right. They can go on maybe to be go into the nursing program, become a certified nurse or RN or whatever it might be. So great opportunities there, and then we have many advanced training programs throughout the nation where students can finish here, move on to a bigger center, and continue their training in those fields. For example, electrical wiring here on center, once they complete it's a pre-apprenticeship program, and then some of our students have gone on to the Oñate Job Corps in New York for high-powered linesmen. So,
wow.
Some great opportunities there, some good money out there. And so that's kind of our vocational side. Again, we do offer high center GED. We are required to teach TABE, which is the test of adult education in numeracy and literacy. Because we want our students to be able to get out of here and read at the highest level and do math at the highest level that they can.
Sure.
Joanne talked about the driver's ed program. Again, all free. We bring them in, we teach them how to drive, even if they've never even been behind the wheel of a car. We teach them all that. We have a full driver's ed car, certified instructor. So just a lot of great things that a young person who, I think, like you said, is not sure where they're going, and the traditional part didn't work for them. Well, that's what Job Corps is all about.
Absolutely. Can I ask a favor for the sake of all of us? That the driver's ed side, can you open that free to everybody here and just make them take it?
Well, I'd love to right at this point, especially since we're more students, but I'm not sure I can get away with that, Mike.
Because I've been driving around town, and there's a lot of people could use that driver's ed training. I'm just saying.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Probably some of our staff here on center could probably use but that's kind of all the things that that we can throw out, that we can offer, and it's just, I mean, I think Joanne said it, Eton said it. If a student's looking for something different, something that they're not sure about, well, Job Corps is a great place to start. And again, you have some options here, and we're looking forward to the day where hopefully very soon that we can start enrolling new students and get our center back where it's supposed to be. We are actually contracted to have 178 students per year.
Okay.
That's what we're supposed to be at. But of course, with COVID and everything going on,
sure,
we're low in numbers. But we're excited about the future and what's coming. Hopefully.
Hey, I got a question. When it talks about the ages and everything, like you said, on the ceiling age, which is it 24, right? If I remember right. How with right now and the kind of the delay of classes and things, if someone's like going to be 20, I mean, how can they get grandfathered in at a certain time? I mean, how does that work as far as getting on this next class on the age side?
As long as they sign up before they turn 25, they're still eligible.
Excellent.
So it could be the day before their birthday. As long as we have that paperwork in, they are still eligible.
Excellent. So if you're kind of looking at that and you're getting a little long in the tooth for Job Corps here, and you're kind of thinking, maybe I need to get this process going now, even if it's going to be 6 months for a class or something. I need to get that done. So if you're 23, 24, and you're hearing about this, let's get the process and everything going. That way you're in the system, and your age isn't a hurdle for you here on the other side there. So.
Yeah, that's a good point. And Mike, we're the Job Corps program is open entry, open exit. So basically, students can decide they want to come and enroll in Job Corps anytime throughout the year. It doesn't have to be like, traditional school where it's August or maybe come in January. So student wants to come in anytime during the school year or throughout the year. As long as they qualify, we will bring them in and we will get them started.
Awesome. Good deal. So let's get that process going. As far as if someone's just now listening and like, you know what, I think Job Corps might be an option for me or someone in my family. Do you think the best resource is online to do some research or call you guys direct? What's probably the best way to get a hold of you right now?
So probably the easiest way is to start with jobcorps.gov.
Okay.
It will show all of the different centers, the locations, and when you click on, so if you clicked on Roswell, you can actually do a virtual tour, you can see what trades we offer, and you can start your application process online.
Okay.
If you submit the paperwork online, if you apply online, then it's sent to me, and I assign it to an admissions counselor, and then they'll give that student a call.
Okay, awesome. Now, say they want to talk to a live person, and, some people like to, give me is there a good phone number, a good person they need to talk to if they just want to kind of talk with someone about the opportunities through Job Corps?
Definitely. So actually, they can give me a call. So this is Eton. So it's 575-347-7408.
And one more time, give that number just for people in case they're writing it down.
575-347-7408.
Yeah, call, ask questions. This is
we get it all the time where people they've seen a flyer, they've seen something, and they just were curious about it.
Yeah.
Sometimes it's not anything that they might be interested in, but maybe they know somebody. We get a lot of referrals that way.
Mm-hmm.
A lot of grandparents especially will say, oh, my son or my granddaughter or my grandson might be interested in your program. Can you tell me more about it?
Yeah.
So I probably take 10 to 15 of those calls a day.
I imagine you guys could kind of attest to what I'm about to say here. This is the thing I want to stress with young people. Sometimes the most amazing opportunity just falls into your lap sometimes out of nowhere. I mean, yeah, we live in a world where people like you want to get your dreams, you got to chase them, and that's absolutely true. But sometimes you just happen to be walking around, you see a flyer on a wall, or you hear a radio program while you're scanning the dial here, and you hear a piece of information, and you're thinking, you know what, maybe that's something I want to do. And so all young people just happen to be listening right now or see that and thinking, pursue this. Call it an omen, a wake-up call. I don't care what you want to call it, just a fortuitous moment. But utilize this as to get the ball rolling, just to ask some questions and get some feelers out. And I think once you start finding the answers that you're looking for in those things, you're going to want to commit and want to see exactly where this program can take you. I mean, I don't know how many people I know that can go through and they're 18, 19, and college just either they tried it, didn't work out for them, or they're just not, it's not their thing. And so we go back to the job force and, hey, we're working at big box store here or fast food establishment here, and yeah, I'm paying some bills but not living, you know what I mean? I'm not enjoying life. This is that change. Get the education, get the training under your belt, and then you write your own ticket. Then you're in command of things, and that's the American dream. Once you get some experience and establishment of your reputation under your belt, then what you make of that is unlimited, and that's where Job Corps can put you in a place to get you to go in that direction. And that's where you go with it's up to you, but they can put you in that place to go in the right direction.
And not as many places offer some of the stuff that we offer without a cost. So the fact that all of our services are free to students. So along with all of the training that they get, we also help place them in jobs when they graduate.
Yeah, you got help.
So that's a big perk. So if they need help 6 months after they've graduated, they can still call us and say, hey, this job isn't working out. Can you help me look for something else?
Yeah.
And we help them. We help them if they need help with housing after they graduate, childcare, all of that.
And
even after they leave, we still assist our students.
And let me throw this little caveat too. I mean, yeah, we're in a world now where if you want a job, you can get it. It's just that way. It's not hard to get a job. But let me tell you the difference here. You know what else could do? If you want a job and you've got the qualifications and skills under your belt, not only do you get to pick the job you want, but you get to command some of the perks and some of the things, because we're in a world where qualified people are in desperate demand in almost every field on the planet right now. The fact that you're trained and qualified to do that day one when they come to hire you, I'm just saying, bigger salaries, promotions quicker.
We actually just had a student who recently graduated within the last few months, and half of the time that he's working, he's making $43 an hour.
Wow.
So, I mean, you can't balk at $43 an hour.
Wow. I'm like, dang, maybe I should go back and learn that.
That may not be the norm, but he was with one of our star students. Half the time he makes $15 an hour, half the time he makes $43 an hour.
That's awesome.
So there's a possibility, but he really put the work into it. He put the effort into learning as much as he could, and now he's out there showing all of the fantastic skills he learned here.
The more work and effort you put in now, the more rewards and pleasures you get to enjoy later on in life.
Exactly.
Yeah, absolutely. Is there any other information we want to make sure we get out there before we let you guys get back to work?
Actually, there is. So I know last month Mariko was on. We do have quite a few openings available at our center right now for staff.
All right, perfect.
So if there's anybody that maybe is not thinking about something for enrollment, like for a student, if you're looking for employment, we do have a lot of great opportunities available right now.
Excellent.
There's quite a few, and they range from the requirements of having to have a degree to only having high school diploma for staff members.
Okay.
So even if somebody listening is looking for a job, but they only have the high school diploma, we still may have a position open for them.
Okay. So is just kind of give a ballpark, like some of them would be for instructors.
So we actually do have some instructor positions, like our protection service instructor positions open right now.
Okay.
So that one we want somebody who has like some like law enforcement type background. We have some education positions open for like high set and GED.
Okay.
We have RA positions in the dorms. We have security positions. We have pretty much a lot of different positions. We have some a driver position available.
Okay.
So if anybody's interested, all of our positions are listed on Indeed.
Okay.
And our company, the contractor here is Distinction. You can usually just find it by job corps, but sometimes you need to look for Distinction.
Okay.
The positions are listed on Indeed.
Okay. Is there a link on the main Job Corps website there, or?
There's not, unfortunately, because every center is run by different contractors.
I gotcha. Yeah, makes sense.
The hiring.
Do you guys have a local Facebook page, or is it all just National Job Corps stuff on Facebook?
No, it's national.
Okay, very good. I was trying to see if we can get a shortcut, but if you
unfortunately, Job Corps is pretty strict about that. They want everything that goes out to be the same.
Makes sense. Government operations, they're good and bad at the same time. Trust me, growing up in Maryland, I had my dad was a 20-year GS-er in the federal government. My mom the same way. I know exactly how the federal government operates. I lived it my whole life. But folks, I'm telling you, it's a great opportunity. Reach out, talk to these folks there. I imagine everyone in that room right now is more excited about getting a class going than anybody else on the planet right now.
Oh, yeah, we are very excited. When we were bringing back our current students, we had a celebration. Every group we brought in.
That's awesome.
There's staff out there waving and hollering, and obviously socially distanced, wearing masks, but we celebrate every time we get students in, so we're very excited for the potential to get new students soon.
Yep, absolutely, and hopefully, like in next year's fair, we're going to see a big army of Job Corps kids out there.
We hope so.
One more time, give out the website and the phone number for folks to reach out and get a hold of you guys.
So the website is just jobcorps.gov.
Okay.
And Job Corps has an S at the end, so it's JOBCORPS.gov.
Yeah, it's silent when you say it, but it's not silent when you spell it.
Exactly. And then if somebody's interested in being a student, the phone number is 575-347-7408. And then would you like the phone number for if it's somebody's interested in being staff?
Yeah, absolutely, please.
So the number to our HR department is 575-347-7435.
Very good. Call, inquire, come, and then, of course, if you're looking for an opportunity to turn your life into, well, what you want it to be, Job Corps is a phone call and a website you need to check out and research because it's one of those things. Like I just really feel it's because I know a lot of people think last chance and all that, and it's not that. But it's one of those things is if you put in the effort, you're going to get it back tenfold. It's one of those if you just put any kind of effort towards this, you're going to get that reward back tenfold if you reach out a little bit to do that. And that's what Job Corps really is all about. It's like, look, we're going to help you get to a place where you're going to succeed, but we need to make sure that you're committed to doing this too. And so if you take that step forward, Job Corps will grab your hand and pull you through the other side and help you navigate this stuff. So
absolutely, Mike. It's their next step. It's not their last chance. It's just their next step is what we like to think about.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Well, ladies and gentlemen, thank you very much for spending some time here today. I'll let you go stomp out your fires. I'm sure you got a bunch of fires to put out. So good.
Thank you for having us. We appreciate you.
And we'll talk to you next time. Hopefully, we'll get to see you guys in person pretty soon.
Hopefully. Yeah.
Crossing fingers. Well, thank you guys. Have a wonderful weekend, okay?
Thank you.
All right, take care. Bye-bye. All right, that was the folks from Roswell Job Corps. Again, great group of people. If it's I feel bad for them because they just want to help people, and of course, being a government program, they're beholden to exactly how the government operates and things like that, and which is a good thing sometimes, but is world of COVID not so great right now. But they're despite the hurdles they're getting, they're trying to make lemonade out there. So if you're looking for an opportunity, please reach out to them. It's a great opportunity. All right, it is 8:51. Let's go ahead and pause for some local news, weather, and your town hall business update. Don't go away. You're listening to Mornings with Mike Winters.
Now for a Pecos Valley News update, I'm Jared Cirillo. The art design of the city of Roswell's new water tanks at the Roswell Air Center area is competing with other water tank designs from across the United States and Canada for the title of Tank of the Year. Residents of Roswell and the surrounding area can cast their votes for the local water tank design featuring the city's UFO-themed logo through October 15th at tankoftheyear.tnemc.com. Also in Roswell, the city's Parks and Recreation Department and Mayor Kintai are inviting everyone to the Carpenter Park Splash Pad Appreciation Celebration. The event will be Friday, starting at 3 o'clock in the 300 block of East Buena Vista. The Chavez County Sheriff's Office Criminal Investigation Division, along with U.S. Marshals, conducted an investigation this last week that brought violent sex offender Alan Beck into custody. Beck had absconded from Indiana. It was learned he had been living in Chavez County and was also charged with failing to register as a sex offender and fugitive from justice. You're up to date. I'm Jared Cirillo.
Here's a Mornings with Mike Winters fun fact. Ketchup was used as a medicine back in the 1930s. Mike uses ketchup to make friends. He doesn't have a lot of friends. Here's Mike Winters.
I'm meteorologist Steve Hamilton with your Pecos Valley weather. High pressure over central New Mexico and West Texas, and that'll keep us fair for the next few days. Pretty warm, too. Our afternoon high today will be in the low 90s with sunshine. Partly cloudy overnight and down to the mid-50s. Looks like low 90s and sunny again tomorrow, maybe a little bit breezy in the afternoon. 95 on Saturday, low 80s Sunday. That's your latest forecast. I'm meteorologist Steve Hamilton.
With the SRN News Business Brief, I'm Bill Alexander. The Justice Department is ready to sue government contractors and other companies who receive U.S. government grants if they fail to report breaches of their computer systems or misrepresent their cybersecurity practices. The DOJ is prepared to take action under a statute called the False Claims Act that permits the government to file lawsuits over misused federal funds. General Motors plans to cash in as the world switches from combustion engines to battery power, promising to double its annual revenue by 2030, with an array of new electric vehicles, profitable gas-powered cars, and trucks. On Wall Street, the Dow was up 102 points, closing at 34,416. The Nasdaq up 68 to 14,501. And the S&P 500 added 17 points to 4,363. With the SRN News Business Brief, I'm Bill Alexander in Washington.
Don't miss the amazing concerts at this year's Eastern New Mexico State Fair, October 4th through the 9th. On October 6th at 7 p.m., it's Colton Dixon. On October 7th, it's Grupo Maldad, Los Consentidos del Norte de Ciudad Juárez, and Los Tremendos León. On Friday, don't miss the Dirty River Boys.
Used to walk down Santa Fe Street, had a quarter in my hand and a fake ID.
Sundance Head.
You're gonna love her, leave her. Wow.
Jody Nix.
Across the alley from the Alamo, when the summer sun starts to settle low.
And Sherry Rowe.
By way of Southwest.
And on Saturday, Edición de Rancho, Conjunto Bengala, and Los Culpables y su estilo diferente. For a complete list of events at this year's fair, log on to enmsf.com.
It's October, and that means it's time to paint Roswell Honda pink. We've partnered up with the Chaves County Cancer Fund to help raise much-needed money, and we're gearing up for another amazing year. Roswell Honda is giving away some great prizes, including 2 Michael Kors designer purses, pretty in pink, of course. Stop by for your free entry or 3 with any qualified test drive. And that's not all. With rebates, incentives, and discounts, and with rates never being this low, there's never been a better time to get behind the wheel. Roswell Honda knows that times are tough, and we're here to help and take some of the stress out of your life. It's just a part of what makes this hometown proud. Help us make it happen for the Chaves County Cancer Fund and paint it pink this month at Roswell Honda, 2177 West 2nd.
The news has been hard to watch lately. It seems we live in a climate of fear and too often of hate. Part of me wonders if the world is getting worse, but then I think about history. I'm not sure if the world is getting worse as much as we've just gotten better at getting our news reports faster. A question I keep asking our congregation is, what is the church's responsibility? I know we're to pray for a kinder, safer world, but there's got to be more that we can do. I know I can't change everything that's going on in the world, but I know I can change a little bit of what happens here in Roswell. I need to practice and teach all of those around me to love like Jesus does. To love in spite of color, political background, or national heritage. To love the poor, the middle class, and even the rich. To help the hurting and encourage those who are struggling. To be grateful to all who impact my life and the lives of others around me. This might not change the whole world, but it might change a little bit of my community.
Join us at the Country Club Road Church of Christ for worship at 10 a.m. on Sunday, located on the corner of Country Club and Washington in Roswell.
It's time to stock up on beef. Do it the most affordable way by buying a whole or half beef from Runyon Cattle. A whole beef feeds a family of 4 for nearly a year. Buy your meat in bulk for about $6 a pound. Skip the store and skip the wait lines. Beef isn't something that you should have to wait on. Stock up on New Mexico homegrown grass-fed and grass-finished beef today by calling Lisa with Runyon Cattle at 760-5655. That's 760-5655. Delivered to your home freezer.
At Anderson Bethany Funeral Home and Crematorium, we honor and pay tribute to the achievements of your loved one by celebrating the life you shared together. Anderson Bethany Funeral Home and Crematorium is compassionate and cares about our local community and the families we serve here in southeastern New Mexico. Locally owned and operated, we will be here to help you decide how to celebrate the bond you've shared and pay tribute to the unique individual you've lost. Visit us at 2609 South Main in Roswell or call 622-5888.
Here's a Mornings with Mike Winters fun fact. The verb form of the word run has been calculated to have almost 650 different meanings. So think about that the next time you run up your tab at the bar, and then run into a friend while you run away from the bartender. Here's Mike Winters.
And good morning. It is 8:58. Stay tuned next hour, about 9:15 or so. We're going to have the folks from the Roswell Community Little Theater join us. Tomorrow night, opening night for Unnecessary Farce happening at the Community Little Theater there. Tonight, tomorrow night, 7:30 p.m. performances, then Sunday afternoon at 2:30. Then they'll do it all over again next weekend, October 15th, 16th, and 17th. We're going to have them join us next hour and give us all the skinny about that. Hey, you also may have heard in the news, City of Roswell, they're in a contest for the tank of the year for the water tank. And of course, they've got a link where people can vote on their favorite water tank and all that. If you'll find the link on our Facebook page, it's like tankoftheyear.com, but there's some / and all that. But if you go to tankoftheyear.com, But here's what made me laugh. I'm not going to lie. I was reading the caption from the city about this, and it says once the voting closes for this for the deal, the top vote getters and 11 runners up will be judged by a panel of water tank enthusiasts to determine the overall winner. I think I just found my new job, water tank enthusiast. How do you get on that gig? If you got a clue, let me know. All right, it is 9 o'clock. You're listening to 106.5 Roswell's Talk FM, KEND, Roswell, New Mexico. We'll be back on the other side of news. Don't go away.
News this hour from townhall.com. I'm Rich Thomason. Amid raging inflation, the ongoing border crisis, and the COVID situation, among other issues, President Biden's poll numbers have dropped to a fresh low.
According to a new Quinnipiac University national poll, only 38% approve of President Biden's job performance. It's his lowest score since taking office. The president receives negative scores across the board, from the pandemic and economy to taxes and immigration. Quinnipiac polling analyst Tim Malloy says the president is being hammered on all sides as his approval rating continues its downward slide. Greg Clugston, Washington.
That transitory inflation that Biden administration officials speak of, that's not going anywhere, at least not yet. It has driven gas prices through the roof. They're now at a 7-year high. This week's average for a gallon of regular unleaded, $3.22, according to AAA. Florida Governor Ron DeSantis says he's not going to stand for it. He vows to fight any attempt by the Justice Department to silence parents at school board meetings.
In a tweet, DeSantis accused Attorney General Garland of, in his words, weaponizing the DOJ by using the FBI to pursue concerned parents and silence them through intimidation. Garland ordered the FBI to monitor the alleged threats after receiving a letter from the National School Board Association comparing parents' complaints at school board meetings to, quote, domestic terrorism and hate crimes. DeSantis notes harassment is already a crime in Florida and says state law enforcement is perfectly capable of enforcing the law with no intervention from the FBI. Bob Agnew reporting.
The Texas Heartbeat Act may be down, but it is not out. A federal judge has temporarily blocked enforcement of that pro-life law, but an appeal is expected. The rally continues on Wall Street. The Dow's up 534 points. The Nasdaq ahead 237 points. More on these stories at townhall.com.
One listener that stands out that I worked with was this older couple that was interested in refinancing. They reached out to a few different lenders, and their credit wasn't the best. I know some of these other bigger banks, you just won't hear back from them, which I cannot stand. Not everybody has the 780 credit scores, and just because you don't qualify at one time doesn't mean that you'll never qualify. I'll walk you through what you have to do, whether it's 2, 3, 6 months from now. Back to that older couple, we worked with them for months and months to improve their credit, and we were able to get the loan done. We were saving them hundreds each month, thousands of dollars a year, finally got themselves into a situation financially that they can handle, and they could start saving money each month for retirement. End of the day, they just could not be happier, which just put a huge smile on my face.
We are United Faith Mortgage.
United Faith Mortgage is a DBA of United Mortgage Corp. 25 Melville Park Road, Melville, New York. Licensed mortgage banker. For all licensing information, go to NMLSConsumerAccess.org. Corporate NMLS number 1330. Equal housing lender. Licensed in Alaska, Hawaii, Georgia, Massachusetts, North Dakota, South Dakota, or Utah.
Australian Prime Minister Scott Morrison says social media platforms that do not reveal the identities of those posting defamatory comments should be held liable for those comments.
Anonymous commentators who use social media to vilify and bully have become the latest battleground between Morrison's government and U.S. tech giants. Australian state and territory governments are rushing to review their defamation laws. This comes after the High Court ruled media outlets can be held liable for defamatory comments posted by third parties on their Facebook pages.
Correspondent Jeremy House. Powerful earthquake collapsed at least one coal mine and scores of houses in remote southwestern Pakistan early today. At least 23 people killed. The death toll, though, continues to rise. Another 200 people injured. At least 4 were killed when the mine in which they were working gave way. More on these stories at townhall.com. Amazon opens its first general store outside the U.S.
It's at a mall in Britain. It will sell the online retailer's most popular products, including books, toys, games, and consumer electronics. The U.S. company said the store is called 4-Star. That's because it sells products rated 4 stars or above by customers and reflects what customers are regularly buying and enjoying. Amazon launched the general store model in 2018 in the U.S., where it already has several dozen outlets. The new store is at the Blue Water Shopping Center in Kent. John Scott reporting.
The Coast Guard has boarded a massive cargo ship as it investigates the rupture of an underwater offshore oil pipeline that sent crude washing up on Southern California beaches. Officials want to know whether a ship's anchor snagged and bent the pipeline off Huntington Beach. Again on Wall Street, the Dow up 527 points. More on these stories at townhall.com.
What in the wide, wide world of sports is going on here?
I promise you, whatever scum did this, not one man in this force will rest for 1 minute until he's behind bars. Now let's grab a bite to eat. Yeah, come on.
I feel the hot wind on my shoulder and the touch of a world that is older. I hit the switch and check the number. I leave it on and then I slumber. I hear the rhythm ringing through it. Flamenco guitar and cumbia music. I hear the talking of the DJ. The travel listen, what does he say? I'm on a Mexican radio. I'm on a Mexican radio.
Broadcasting live from high atop the J.P. White Building in downtown Roswell, New Mexico. It's Mornings with Mike Winters on 106.5 Roswell's Talk FM.
Is that what I sound like when I talk?
Now, here's your host, Mike Winters.
And good morning. It is 6 minutes after 9 o'clock. Welcome to hour number 3.
Tres inviernos.
Mornings with Mike Winters, right here on 106.5 Roswell's Talk FM. Happy Thursday.
That's right. Three hours.
Traces.
That's right. Throwing up signs now. The new thing.
He's going for 3.
Mm-hmm. Yes. Yeah. So it was always weird to me, like growing up, because I used to watch a lot of wrestling, and the Four Horsemen were big in WCW. And the way that they used to hold their fingers for the 4, it always struck me as weird because they would do it like this.
Yeah.
It was like, I don't know why they specifically held their fingers like that, but it was always just like this.
They go. Now that you're talking about fingers, all I can think about is I watched yesterday. It's a week late, but I watched the Dark Side of the Ring.
Okay.
And this one was about the Japanese, the
FMW.
FMW, the brutal leagues, or Onita.
Deathmatch wrestling, yeah.
So, which is a good episode. A little bloody.
A lot bloody. A lot bloody. A lot bloody, and I guess spoiler alert. I mean, because somebody dies in the end of this one, all right?
Well, and that's it's and I'm a squeamish guy, so I was like kind of like watching this one with bated breath.
Yeah.
But when you said the finger thing, all I could think about is the scene. You've seen it, right? There's a scene where which wrestler was it? I can't remember which wrestler it was.
It wasn't Terry Funk, was it?
It may have been Funk, but I don't think it was. I think it was one of the other guys. He was talking about I think it was it was oh shoot. Never mind. Anyway, not important. One of the wrestlers was talking, and he was talking about having a meeting with. They had to have a meeting with the sponsors for something, and they're at dinner, and they're sitting around the table eating dinner, and all the sponsors are Yakuza.
And they were talking about
and they're talking about like every person at the table had like parts of their finger missing, I guess because of Yakuza related activity, and it was just like you're just sitting around the table with a bunch of mafia guys, and all of them like half their pinkies missing and everything.
Like, you messed up. You messed up too.
And it's just it was just when he was describing that. It was kind of a surreal moment for me listening to it. I was like, wow, that's crazy.
Legitimately, and I love the episode. It is. I mean, it's very gory. It's a lot of that, but it's the deep history of like not only Japanese wrestling, but also that style, strong style deathmatch. It fascinates me. But the one thing that I take away from this episode and it's my favorite thing ever. I can sit with people who are like-minded and do this for a whole half hour. It's Terry Funk having to leave a conversation because he has to go compete in a specific style of match. And it's like, it's my favorite improv ever. It's, I gotta go. I gotta run down the street to a loser has to take Bruno Sammartino to a dialysis match. Whatever random wrestler in a thing. Yeah. I gotta go wrestle in a loser has to bake Billy Kidman a cake match.
You're right. Well, that's how those wrestling leagues were, you know, and those the brutality death match, you know, they kept trying to one up themselves each time. So first it was
just
like barbed wire,
and then it was exploding barbed
electrified barbed wire,
electrified, and then the electrified in the water.
Yeah, and basically they put a ring in a lake and then just.
Just throw some electricity in there. Why not?
Throw a guy out and he gets electrocuted. You know, it's like, what?
You know what happens to a koi pond when you drop a live wire in there? Basically the same thing.
Yeah, just insane. Yeah. So that's what when he's talking about Terry Funk. Basically, every one of their one-up matches, they try to one-up on him. So.
I got to go down to a barbed wire Cialis on a pole match.
Winner has to eat a bad chicken salad sandwich.
I'm fighting Jimmy Superfly Snuka in a 3 stages I gotta go to the bathroom match.
Winner eats a salmonella laden egg salad sandwich.
Loser has to eat a gas station egg salad sandwich match.
Gas station sushi.
It's legitimately the most fun, as like pure fun that I can have with another person is just sitting there talking about Terry Funk having to leave to go fight a random match. I gotta go down and fight Roddy Piper, and a loser has to wash the winner's underpants match.
Right. But yeah, it wasn't really. But when you said the finger thing, that's what reminded me. All that started from fingers, by the way. Hey, I do want to mention this. Has nothing to do with our conversation we just had. I just have no segue to do this. New Mexico Senior Olympics, the board of directors are going to meet. They're going to meet in person on October 21st at the Roswell Chamber of Commerce, which is located at 131 West 2nd. It'll be on the 21st. Is there a time? 10 a.m. on Thursday the 21st. That meeting is open to the public, and all are invited to come out. So.
Gotta go down and talk about the javelin match. The new stipulation is loser has to give the winner a sitz bath with Epsom salts.
That's right. You can go see the Terry Funk.
That whole time you were doing that, all I could think was all of his matches that Terry Funk could have with senior Olympians.
Winner's got to eat grape nuts without milk.
Loser's got to eat dry grape nuts match. I gotta go fight grape nuts in a pool match. That's horrible. You were talking about a match stipulation. You powerbomb somebody into some grape nuts?
That would be.
You don't get up from that.
Yeah, I'm thinking paralyzations will be happening.
That's the crunch that crunches back.
Yeah. Total pain. This total cereal was total pain when you body slam someone into it.
I got to go down to a loser has to act in unnecessary farce without ever having looked at the script match.
Winner's got a frozen Jello. Something with frozen Jello. There's something in there.
Loser's got to suck down frozen Jello in front of the winner match.
All right, I got to stop. I'll do this.
Sorry. Yeah, I'm telling you, it's just endless. It's endless fun.
I will do that all day if I don't stop doing it. So
try it with your friends today, folks. Just give it a shot around the office.
What would Terry Funk do?
WWTFD.
Yeah, there you go. Hey, let me give you the rundown for this hour of the show. We'll get you up to date with the weather here in just. Now I got Terry Funk things in my head. That's all that's in my head. Terry Funkisms. Yeah, that's fine. It don't matter. Just around these three there will work. Let me give you the rundown here. We're going to get you up to date with the weather here in just a few minutes. Then here, after our break here in about 5-10 minutes, we're going to have the folks from the Roswell Community Theater join us tomorrow night. Not to make you guys nervous, but like 24 hours opening night for Unnecessary Farce at the Roswell Community Theater. So we'll talk all about that with these gentlemen here in just a few. Later on, we'll get you up to date with local news, along with your Sean Hannity update, Town Hall business update as well, and whatever else we can conjure up for this hour of the show. Before we do any of that, though, let's go ahead and get you up to date on the weather.
I'm meteorologist Steve Hamilton with your Pecos Valley weather. High pressure over central New Mexico and West Texas, and that'll keep us fair for the next few days. Pretty warm, too. Our afternoon high today will be in the low 90s with sunshine. Partly cloudy overnight and down to the mid-50s. Looks like low 90s and sunny again tomorrow, maybe a little bit breezy in the afternoon. 95 on Saturday, low 80s Sunday. That's your latest forecast. I'm meteorologist Steve Hamilton.
Thank you, Steve. Currently 65 degrees here in Roswell. Humidity is at 54%. Winds currently out of the north at 3 miles per hour. A little warmer today. 91 officially under mostly sunny skies with northwest winds 5 to 10 miles per hour. Tonight, partly cloudy. Overnight low of 56 degrees. South winds 5 to 10 miles per hour. For you Friday, a smidge warmer still. Mostly sunny, 92 for a high tomorrow. South winds 10 to 15 miles per hour. Saturday, I'm going to predict. Saturday will be our last day of 90-degree weather in 2021. That's my prediction right now. We're going to be warm on Saturday. Sunny, 95. Southwest winds at 15 to 20 miles per hour for the afternoon. It's going to be 5 to 10 in the morning, then picking up 15 to 20 for the afternoon. That's blowing in cooler temperatures for Sunday. Sunny, high of 82 on Sunday. Not like tundra, but, cooler. Then Columbus Day on Monday, sunny, 84. 82 for Tuesday. And then we drop down to low 70s for Wednesday, 72. So some kind of cold front rolling in. Looks like Tuesday. It's supposed to be breezy on Tuesday as well, so that probably explains that. All right, it is 9:15. Let's go ahead and take a 3.5-minute commercial break, and then we'll talk Roswell Community Little Theater and unnecessary farce on the other side. Don't go away.
The 99th Annual Eastern New Mexico State Fair is here, and that means all the food, the fun, the rides, and of course, the amazing concerts. Wednesday night at 7 p.m. Don't miss American Idol Season 11 contender Colton Dixon. Then Friday night starting at 6, it's an evening of some of the best in red dirt country, including Sherry Rowe. The Dirty River Boys. Sundance Head. If you're gonna love her, leave her wild. And Jody Nix.
Play your best for me, twin fiddles, turn me on.
Best of all, your admission to these amazing concerts is absolutely free with your admission to the fair. Find out more. Go to enmsf.com for all the need-to-know info on the 99th Annual Eastern New Mexico State Fair.
The news has been hard to watch lately. It seems we live in a climate of fear and too often of hate. Part of me wonders if the world is getting worse, but then I think about history. I'm not sure if the world is getting worse as much as we've just gotten better at getting our news reports faster. A question I keep asking our congregation is, what is the church's responsibility? I know we're to pray for a kinder, safer world, but there's got to be more that we can do. I know I can't change everything that's going on in the world, but I know I can change a little bit of what happens here in Roswell. I need to practice and teach all of those around me to love like Jesus does. To love in spite of color, political background, or national heritage. To love the poor, the middle class, and even the rich. To help the hurting and encourage those who are struggling. To be grateful to all who impact my life and the lives of others around me. This might not change the whole world, but it might change a little bit of my community.
Join us at the Country Club Road Church of Christ for worship at 10 a.m. on Sunday. Located on the corner of Country Club and Washington in Roswell.
Innovation, service, integrity, and knowledge. J.S. Ward & Son Insurance Agency. Auto and home, life and health, personal and commercial. Bonds too, since 1925. We have the coverage for you. Innovation, service, integrity, and knowledge. J.S. Ward & Son Insurance Agency.
When you think of home health care here in Roswell, what's the first thing that pops into your head? That's right, Frontier Medical. We've been doing it better than anyone else for over 20 years. From in-home nursing to physical therapy and so much more. Doctors and hospitals from Albuquerque to Lubbock and everywhere in between have been trusting their patients to us here at Frontier Medical. So when it's time to make a choice, remember Frontier Medical. 575-627-1112. Frontier Medical.
Name to remember. As a business leader, you want what's best for your employees. You want them to be happy, take pride in their work, and have access to better health. That's where we come in. Health plans from True Health New Mexico offer members access to over 10,000 providers in facilities throughout New Mexico. Many prescription drugs have $0 copays, and many plans cover behavioral health 100%. Be true to your company and to your employees. Visit TrueHealthNewMexico.com.
Here's a Mornings with Mike Winters fun fact. The word gorilla is derived from a Greek word meaning a tribe of hairy women. Mike recommends that if you see a tribe of hairy women, you don't call them gorillas. Here's Mike Winters.
And good morning. It is 19 minutes after 9 o'clock, and joining us in studio this morning from the Roswell Community Little Theater, Chris and Randy and Will with us. Good morning, gentlemen.
Good morning.
Morning. How's life treating you guys today?
Good.
Good.
Yeah.
Pretty good.
Had a dress rehearsal last night, so we're recovered from that.
Yeah. So what's the feeling the day before? Excited, nervous? I mean,
both.
Both. It's kind of a cornucopia of feelings mixed together. Yeah.
Honestly, the day before, it's kind of a tradition that we don't have rehearsal.
Okay.
So actually, this is the one day in the last 2 weeks where we're not getting together.
Okay.
Because it's kind of your chance to center yourself.
Cleanse the palate,
that's
get you
right.
ready for...
Decompress.
Decompress a little bit. Well, good news is for everybody, you don't have to wait long to see their upcoming production. Tomorrow night is opening night. It's a comedy. It's called Unnecessary Farce, hence that farce part. I think you can kind of figure that out. But this one is basically the premise, and I'll let you guys talk more about it, but it's kind of, think of your political scandal, hotel room sting, and the comedy ensues.
Right? Right. That's it.
All right, so the characters just totally get dragged all over the place.
Yeah.
All I get when I read the synopsis for this, again, this is me growing up in Maryland, D.C. area. All I could think of is when Marion Barry got busted. Back in was that late 80s, early 90s, whenever that was.
Yeah.
And it was all over the TV in the D.C. area and everything else. So I think of this and all the comedy that came from that in the real world,
right?
But now translates to the stage.
Truth is always stranger than fiction. That's right. Yeah, that's true. That's true.
So give the background, the full synopsis of what the play is.
Okay. Well, the idea is that it's a town. We won't say big, small. It's kind of undetermined, but
indiscreet town.
Yeah, the mayor is suspected of some wrongdoing.
Okay.
So the police decide they're going to set up a sting in a hotel room. So the play actually takes place. You see two hotel rooms side by side, with the connecting door in between. And the cops are on one side, bad guys on the other side. And there you go. Begin, And, 8 different doors because hotels have, closets and bathrooms.
Sure. And they all look the same.
They all look the same. So it's always one of those things of, it's kind of cool because the audience is always in on more than the people are. So the audience sees both rooms at the same time. So, action's happening in both rooms and people are coming in and out of both rooms. And it's, very fast paced.
Excellent. I would think of, it sounds like if you think of like sitcom sketch comedy and the way stories unroll there and how usually it's something kind of mundane that really rolls into this big thing at the end. And it sounds like it's that type of comedy where think of, it's like if they, you know what I mean? It's a series of, think of like Seinfeld, Curb Your Enthusiasm style,
right?
Where it's like one thing that had nothing to do with something now turns to be a whole part of the thing at the end if you're paying attention. If you love that kind of fun and comedy, this is probably right in your wheelhouse.
Yes. It's got a couple of interesting twists in it.
Good. That's always good. Now, most of your plays and productions are always family friendly and things. However, this one we're going to call it date night play. Not that it's like over the top dirty or nothing, but there's some subject matter and things that might not be appropriate for younger kids and things like that. So get a sitter, find or let the teenagers babysit the younger ones, and you and your spouse or date come on out and have a great show.
Yeah, it's nothing over the top. It's just some adult language, and a couple adult situations, and but. It's definitely something new for the theater. We generally try to pick plays that are very family friendly, and so it's kind of nice being able to say this is kind of a PG-13 play.
There you go. That's a good.
Yeah.
Well, and we need that. I mean, I'm not because I don't. People are like, "What are you saying?" Hold on, because I don't have kids and everything. So people, I get it. That kids. Our whole worlds revolve around our kids and all that stuff. It's important as it should be. But our entertainment as adults doesn't have to be everything for just kids. We can go do things that as adults and couples and don't involve juice boxes and and pizza.
Yeah. So, to that point, I'm a new father, right?
Yeah.
I've got one child, 4 years old, and our whole world, our whole life is revolved around Zoe.
Yeah.
Right? And now it's a situation where it's like, okay, 4 years ago, all right, now 4 years later, I think I'm wanting some time alone and time away, right?
An adult night.
So, all right, mom-in-law, grandma, here's Zoe. I'll see you tomorrow morning.
That's
you know what I mean?
Exactly.
Although we do have pizza and juice boxes backstage.
Right.
Well, you can be any age and enjoy a good juice box.
Well, that's for the actors. Agreed. Yeah. Give me those old high C things, with the pokey straws, from like fourth grade. Love
My
'em.
complaint is I want an adult size. I want make it like double the ounces for adults.
Yeah.
I need more than 8
That's
or
one
whatever
sip
comes
right
in
there.
that thing.
Yeah, go into a 7-Eleven. It's on the dispenser.
Yeah.
That's right.
Right.
Like Capri Sun. Make like a big gelatinous Capri Sun.
There you go.
Yeah, right.
Anyway, different play for a different day. Good news is if you're not available tomorrow night, no problem. We got 2 weekends of performances. Friday night, Saturday night, and Sunday afternoon this weekend. 7:30 p.m. performances Friday and Saturday night, and then Sunday afternoon at 2:30. And then we'll do it all over again next weekend, the 15th, 16th, and 17th. Again, 7:30 Friday, Saturday night, Sunday afternoon at 2:30. You can get tickets online right this second at roswelltheater.com. And when you go put theater in, spell it like live theater, not movie theater, TH. Not the eater like you would a movie theater, but the TRE at the end.
The fancy spelling.
Fancy.
That's right.
So put your pinky out when you're typing it in.
That's right.
Unless you need that pinky in, because I'm a pecker. I just use one finger. I don't need all 10 of them.
So one thing that's really interesting about this play is a couple of our actors have never done any plays before, or okay, one of them, in full disclosure, is my wife.
Gotcha.
She has one of the female.
She's been around.
She's been around.
And done a lot of the technical side.
Yeah,
of it.
she's always said, I'm a backstage person. I never want to be on stage. I don't have any desire. And when this part came up, everybody would just tell her, you got to audition for this. You'll be perfect. And so she did, and she got it. And she is, it's an eye-opening, I think, for people who aren't familiar with the theater. And I was going to say, Will is another person who he has the lead male character in our play, and he has not done theater before. So he's, yeah.
Well, you're a musician.
No.
How does music translate into acting?
I dink around on the guitar and I play stuff, but I've never played for people in a performance.
Got you.
Okay, but I'm not a complete stranger to talking in front of strangers because of my job.
Sure. Okay. I just didn't know if some of those skill sets translate to the acting side. What you do to play music or get you to be in the right space for playing music, does that work in acting?
Well, I imagine so. One, you got to have the bravery, right? The courage to stand in front of people that you don't. Yeah, putting it out there. And then you have to tell a story with music, or take the audience along a journey with you.
Sure.
And that's the same thing that I do with my day job as a statistician.
Okay.
I tell stories with data, and when you start thinking about math and stuff, that gets very boring. So you have to find creative ways to engage people.
I say, nice who he's acting. He's trying to make statistics exciting right here on the radio.
See, there you go. Buckle up, folks.
Right.
Oh, you sit in a room with me for 30 minutes. I'll have you going out of there just blowing.
That's all right. I was doing a whole dissertation on chicken gizzards earlier, so.
Wow.
Well, 90% of all statistics are made up on the spot.
Exactly.
That's right. Well, actually, that's like 89.3.
Yeah.
Oh, well,
If you want to get
well, I rounded to the nearest integer.
That's an Abraham Lincoln internet quote.
All right.
Exactly.
But seriously, there's a journey and a way to tell something. And
Sure.
As a new to the stage, right, I'm finding that voice is important. And I've done role-playing games and things like that in my history, growing up. And so voice acting, if you would call it that, is, brought into it. And the experience has been enlightening from the perspective of what really goes on backstage.
Sure.
And all of the work that goes on with the set and everything else. And, last night we had some experiences where what can go wrong, and it does go wrong, right?
Well, and you gotta
and you roll with it. You improv, you power through it, and it's a fun experience for even those of us that are actually on stage.
But that's also the beauty of going out and seeing live theater.
Yeah.
Because in all fairness, especially in a show like this, the unpredictable can add to the performance.
Oh, absolutely.
When the door doesn't quite open right, or
falls off the hinges.
Yeah,
falls off the hinges, or is locked when it's not supposed to be locked.
Yeah. I mean, you got to make lemonade out of that.
That's right.
Yeah.
And that's and you
And you
as
have
an
to do-
actor, you have to know how to do that.
And you have to do it on the fly because there's
Right.
no cut. Let's rewind and record.
you can't do
That, like there is on television. And then you can edit and post or something,
Sure.
right? I mean, you have to roll with it right there and come up with something that fits on the spot. Otherwise, it just doesn't make the audience feel as though there's a continuity to the story.
And plus, and this would and disagree with me if I'm out on it, but I think is from my perspective when I look, I almost think theater is the most team sport out there that people don't realize, because most people think my performance, I'm the diva, the aria, the main star, and it's all about me and all that, but. No, because you're only as good as your weakest link on up there, and when those moments happen on stage, and they will, it's not a question of if, it's when it's going to happen.
Right.
That you as a team come together to come in. So if someone forgets a line or someone forgets a stage movement, the others have to work as a team to overcompensate and adapt. So the people in the audience have no idea that something didn't happen the way it was supposed to, and without that cohesion of a cast and that mix of new and experienced, it's really hard to achieve that. And that's the magic of making a performance, really.
Right.
Well, this cast has really been like family.
Yeah.
I mean, it's a wonderful bunch of people, because we've had a couple of traumas along the way, and we've all just kind of come together and
Sure, I mean,
supported
COVID and
each
everything,
other.
it's the world we live in right now.
Right.
Yeah,
Absolutely.
Well, I mean, this goes beyond COVID. You know, we had some medical incidents that have occurred, and we've had to pull together to pull through in order to meet the community expectations of the theater.
Well, it's a community little theater. It's a great organization run by some great people, but it's a small run organization. They've got overhead. They've got humanity, people, things. They got a building that is old and needs roof fixing and things like that. So there's a lot of moving parts that all make the community little theater happen. It's the people, the core of it. That's what keeps things going. So
And we are accepting donations for our roof.
So if you'd like to,
including ticket sales, we love ticket sales.
Yeah, sure.
Right.
But if you'd like to pay $50 for a ticket instead of 10,
Right. Exactly. Exactly.
that would be very helpful.
Yeah.
But come out and support it. Basically come support the community little theater. And in exchange for that, we're going to give you an awesome night of entertainment and an awesome show. And don't forget, if you can't do it this weekend, we got next weekend as well too. And while we're talking about shows coming up here, Randy, unfortunately we had to postpone the second weekend of Bye Bye Birdie back over the summer here due to medical and things like that. Well, good news. Everybody's doing well again.
Right.
And after our Unnecessary Farce run here in 2 weeks, the weekend after, the performance weekend number 2 of Bye Bye Birdie will be happening.
Right.
So if you got tickets last time, hopefully, if you got them online, they're still good. They're still there.
Right.
But if you have
Should
a
be,
paper
yes.
ticket, hopefully you didn't, throw it out or something. But
Send it through the wash.
Yeah, it happens a lot.
Yeah.
You go look at my wallet. There's so many pieces of paper that are all because they've been through the laundry about 10 times. Yeah. But your ticket's good for next week, the 2 weeks from now. And can you get tickets right now for that show
Sure,
online? Again,
bet.
RoswellTheater.com.
Yeah.
So while you're looking for tickets for Unnecessary Farce, go ahead and get you something for Bye Bye Birdie. So if you're thinking you want slap your knee, laugh out loud this weekend, and then something more musical for 3 weeks from now.
There you go.
Right. So.
And between our 2 weeks of our show, our next play, which is Mother Goose Gets Eaten by Werewolves, will be having their auditions on October 11th and 12th at 7 p.m. So if you've ever wanted to be in Little Theater or do something with theater, come by and audition.
Awesome.
There's parts for adults. There's lots of parts for teenagers, I believe, in that.
Is this got a mix of young and old with the Mother Goose?
I believe so.
And werewolves
yeah,
mixed kind of. I'm assuming it's a comedy.
It is let's hope so. It is Halloween season though, so who knows?
That's true. That's right.
Well, maybe you could say like a dark comedy because the Halloween themed comedy. I guess you could say not dark and like some of our television shows where you're just like. That was pretty dark.
You know, and speaking at it from somebody who's never done this before, you know, who's actually new to Roswell, right? I gotta say, if you're having, you know, doubts about your performance abilities, or, you know, you're interested, these folks down there at the RLCT are just amazing, and they'll help you get through it. And
you could be the spokesperson for New Guy for them, because basically, you know, we're always talking about we're always looking for more people to be a part of the cast, to be a part of the performance behind the scenes, or up in the booth, wherever, even if it's just coming out in makeup, helping do makeup and things. Sure. I mean, if every facet of a performance is volunteer driven and volunteer done, and everything else.
There's a lot more than just acting on stage. Right. I mean, you know, Chris here has built the set, and I know that took a lot of work. We've got our stage manager who is assisting with props and everything else, right? And then there's all the directing and everything. So there's what you see on stage is what, maybe 30% of the whole production, really?
Well, it's like a duck. You know, you're just floating along smoothly on stage, but behind stage, you're paddling like heck.
Yeah. You're looking at the smooth gliding duck. Meanwhile, behind the stage, those legs are going 5,000 miles an hour moving that thing. Yeah. That is probably the best picture of how theater is I can think of is the duck reference. That's exactly what it is.
Don't let inhibition stop you from engaging. I mean, these people are amazing.
Well,
and
it's fun and close knit. It's very jovial. It's not, you know, everyone's there to have fun. It's you got a job to do and everything, but they're not. Everyone's in a good mood. Everybody's happy. Everybody's it's doing things you want to do for fun, and it's acting and performing and doing it. This isn't a job. This isn't work. This is people's play. This is something people want to do. So it's treated that way. And don't get me wrong, they take everything seriously, and they're not going, you know. But at the end of the day, we're making something to entertain people. We're not splitting atoms here. You know what I'm saying? Let's just come have a good time.
And from my first experience ever being involved in theater on stage, you know, like since middle school when I was a tree and my only line was to go whoosh. Right.
You got a line. My tree didn't.
You were a tree. I was a bee.
It has been a very positive experience. Tomorrow's opening night, and you know I'm really hopeful that the performances meet the community's expectations and more.
Oh, I guarantee that's going to happen. I have no doubt in that. It's going to be a great time tomorrow night. It's going to be a lot of fun. And a pro tip. If you can't make it tomorrow, but you got a certain window, generally speaking, after open night, tickets get a little bit quicker selling after opening night, just because word gets out, people see it. Now, I'll come back next weekend or tomorrow night and bring my friend or my cousin or whomever. And so it might behoove you, if you've only one night you're available or something, go ahead and get your tickets right now. Get that taken care of before opening night tomorrow night. That way you're guaranteed the night you want to get a seat at and everything else too. So.
And you guys hit on a great point. I do want to remind everybody, we are all volunteers. None of us are paid. You know, some of us, these guys over here, you know, we schedule a few rehearsals during the week, but this cast has worked together. We've been there, I think, the last, 2 weeks, we've been there pretty much every day. Somebody's been getting together, working on lines.
Oh, just the average cast members, putting in an extra 20, 30 hours a week probably.
And that's at the theater. That doesn't include sitting at home working on your lines. And I mean, just from a backstage perspective, Gina Montague, the director of this play, and I started talking about what we were going to do with set over a year ago. So, I mean, and these plays are selected 2 years in advance. So this is something that a director read a play 2 years ago and said, I want to do this, submitted it to our board. Our board approves it. We spend the next year getting rights. You know, all that stuff happens behind the scenes. All that stuff takes hours and hours, and it's all volunteers.
Yeah, but don't let this scare you off and think like, oh, did I just sign up for 40 hours a week day job and night job kind of thing? It's fun, right? It's a hobby. If you take it seriously, you can really engage and develop a talent.
But it's a little more than just showing up and start talking on a stage.
Yeah, right. And even Randy here, who plays the mayor, right, and has a not as intense of a role, right? I mean, he's there with the cast, helping us, coaching me on how to handle situations where the line's not remembered or whatever else, and then backstage helping people with props and stuff like that.
Sure.
I mean, it's it is community.
It is
community,
like
you said,
Absolutely.
and the camaraderie that's developed here and the friendships are lasting.
It's a passion of love, labor of love.
It is.
It's what it is, and that's that's the great thing about and we talk about the money and everything is hand to mouth. That's really there's fortunately there's a great board and a great group of people that work tirelessly to make sure things happen and all that. But running a theater is very expensive. Take out the building maintenance side. Just take that out altogether. Just forget the fact they're going to need a new roof and the light bills and all that. Don't even think about that financial side for a minute, and just think of the place. I mean, every time there's a play, you got to get permissions. You got to pay royalty rights. You've got to do and all of that costs time and money. And to be honest, because it's creative licensing things, they have directions and rules on certain like okay, you want to do this play, but you can't. Some are like, okay, they give you license to kind of play around with a little bit and add or just detract from it. Others are like, no, that dress better be blue. That window better be next to that door, and you better say this. And that when they're written that way, they're not always written for the mind of the community little theater. And it's like, how am I going to pull that off on a stage with, and I don't have Andrew Lloyd Webber money to do that.
Right. And again, this is one of the reasons why these plays are chosen 2 years in advance.
Yeah, exactly.
This particular show it's several cast members have pointed. It's one of the more difficult ones we've tried to do.
Is it? Okay.
Not necessarily from a technical point of view, but from just learning the lines, because there's so much rapid fire stuff going back and forth. You've got two different conversations going on in two different rooms at the same time, and sometimes they're related and sometimes they're not.
And then it gets confusing if you're not following along there. Yeah.
Angela has says the same thing like 25 times, just slightly different. And then, how does she remember which way she's supposed to do it this time?
Sure. Yeah, you don't want to repeat yourself, because that's what loses the comedic value. But and that's the stuff that hopefully you as an audience don't think about. You just come out, you watch a show, and you're like, that was good.
Yeah.
But there is a lot of effort, money, time involved in every one of these things. So come out and enjoy it. You're gonna if you're looking for unique experiences, date nights and things like that. This is it. This is there's nothing like this in town that you're going to experience like this. It's a great. It's our version of New York City right here in Roswell, New Mexico.
Right.
It really is. We get these great plays. We get it's where we make up where we lack in dollars. We make up for in effort and heart.
And enthusiasm.
That's where it's all about. So come out. I guarantee you're going to come out to the show with a certain expectation level, and you're going to come back and say, that was way more than I thought it was. The acting and stuff, because you think communal theater, you think like a step up from like elementary school play. You kind of think, no. You get there and you're like, holy cow, we have people that have like acting skills in this town, and they do amazing jobs up there.
And they're your friends and neighbors. They're the guy you see. Angela works at the UFO museum, checking people out in the gift shop. You know, So
speaking of Randy, we were talking about Randy. He was on with Man of La Mancha with me. I was watching that one. I'm like looking. There's Pastor so and so dancing around on stage. Out there. How many times you see Pastor so and so dance? That's.
Well, that would be me.
Mine was Pastor Cholak, if I remember right.
Okay.
He was in that one, and he's a fun guy and a nice guy. But to see him in like an Egyptian dress kilt, whatever they call the outfit, and dancing and doing it was like. That's an image I never expected to see. Was that man doing that someday? And that's awesome. That's the theater. It's because you see a side of people that you never thought was out there, and you like it because it gets you closer.
So one of the scenes is some costume changes, and last night my wife saw the dress rehearsal, and on the way home, the car, she's like, I had to whip out my phone and get a picture of that because I never expected to see you in that costume. And so there's even surprises, right? You know, so I've kind of kept a good tight lip around my family as to what to expect.
So you
right?
keep them in the dark.
Yeah. So that way, when they show up, it's you know, they get the full experience.
Sure.
And
that's great.
It was fun, right? You know, and as Chris mentioned, these are the people here are your friends and your family and your neighbors, and you know, I mean, if you know them, you've probably heard about it. But you know, word of mouth gets around, and it might be two doors down the street.
Sure, I imagine too. It's a bit of therapy for you guys. And what I mean by that is, actors, you get to. That's the fun part of acting. You get to be somebody else for a little bit.
Right.
And you're not beholden to your own morals and principles and values and likes and dislikes. You get to experience those things through a character, through somebody else. And that's fun sometimes where you're like, well, I don't have to have the values I have. Yeah. I might try to do someone else's through this character. And
kids do it all the time. It's just that as you get older, people quit doing it.
It's true. We lose our imaginations.
We never did.
Yeah, there you go.
You know,
We're still doing it.
Yeah,
that's not a bad way to look at it.
There you go. There you go.
Yeah. You know, like I said, for being first time ever doing anything like this, right? Aside from say voice acting at a RPG table with dice, right? It is therapeutic in a way.
Yeah.
And you know, I'm learning so much about what really goes behind the scenes and the interactions and everything else, and you know, from minor roles to major roles or lead roles, right? You know, the differences. And you see this in the news with, you know, your mainstream actors out of Hollywood and stuff, you know, the conflicts and everything else. But there's nowhere near that in the community theater. And so I have to say, I went in with an expectation of the experience, and I'm coming out with a completely different view.
Sure.
And it has been a positive experience.
Yeah, you kind of think of one thing and you think of like, I don't know, like the Best in Show or those documentaries with the Mighty Wind, whichever one about the theater.
Yeah, the one's Christopher Guest.
Yeah, whichever one that was.
Yeah.
And so I think a lot of us have that image, and then you get there and it's like, that's nothing like I thought it was going to be, you know, and you're right. It's definitely like that. We all have an image of one thing based on TV and movies and, you know, that world. And it's one of those things that's like, well, those work because there is an ounce of truth in what they're doing, but it's an over exaggeration of what it and so when you get behind there in the theater, you're like, oh, okay, it's a different world. Yeah, some of the jokes and some of the stereotypes of theater, yeah, they're there. You know, there's a whole lot of people walk around going, hello. You know, I mean, it's just they're boisterous people.
Right. Yeah.
But you know,
there's
that also
there's a bit of truth behind every stereotype. I mean, that's how they get started.
Yeah, exactly. But yeah, it's a really family. It's really because at the end of the day, you're doing something that's out of most people's comfort zone. When it comes to performing in any way, anytime you're in front of a group of people doing anything, whether it's performing or doing a card trick or whatever it is, there's anxiety, there's a negative feelings in some of those for a lot of people, and there's some. I'm thinking there's some kind of strength in numbers on that. So like when you're in a play, you really have that. It's all for one for all mentality because you get it's like, oh, man, we got to move, but we're going to do it together. Let's do this. And so that just naturally or just what happens as the chemistry of the thing happens. That naturally just takes place and occurs because. It's just how the fabric's made up.
Randy, you're a veteran on this, and you know you've been through a few productions yourself on all aspects. So would you even say that as a veteran, you still have some of those anxieties?
I do. I've been doing it since high school, and I know for years and years before I go on for the first time, I'm thinking, "Oh my God, what's my first line?" And that's pretty well gone away. But still, there's that. Just kind of a little thrill just before you go out for the first time is
sure.
Okay.
Those little butterflies in your stomach.
Well, I imagine as you get more experience with it, then you have to worry about the side of not getting too confident with it. And what I mean, like you said, like losing line, like forgetting lines. But when you get to be a veteran in it, that also, it's like even if you don't remember it in that moment, because you've structured and patterned, it's almost like as soon as I do something to trigger it, it'll come to me and things, but that comes with experience and things like that. But sometimes if you get a little kind of overconfident, then those kinds of things escape you. So, so I imagine that's a struggle as a veteran that you gotta balance. It's like, okay, I've done this a bunch, but I got to treat it like it's the first time. Otherwise, I'm going to make a mistake, And
you got all these other people depending on you, too.
Yeah.
And some of them don't have that much experience.
Mm-hmm. And so you want to help them and navigate.
Right.
Like I imagine, since Angela and Will are new to this,
yes,
I imagine they're turning to you a lot for
there are
direction.
There are two leads.
Yeah.
Our two leads are both newbies.
I will say when I talk about camaraderie and teamwork and the whole cast as a unit, I have to say that I work in a desk job. I'm data scientist. I work with people, and there's a teamwork there, right? But on stage, that interwoven connectivity of reliance and dependence upon somebody else becomes crucial.
Sure.
And it goes through the roof, and it really is an experience in learning how to work and how to rely and trust on other people. And that has been like eye-opening to me, and a massive personal growth movement. And so I'm extremely grateful for the opportunity Chris and Gina gave me.
I would even draw comparisons to, like, when you talk about sports teams, military, first responders, they kind of, because of the scenarios they're in, they build a close-knit cohesion. It's and I think theater definitely draws from those same aspects. Now, granted, there's not someone shooting bullets at you or a fire inferno in
the
front
risk
of you.
level is completely different.
But
maybe fake bullets.
Depends on the play.
But,
maybe fake bullets. Yeah.
But the feelings, the sense of accomplishing a goal that seems pretty hard together, all of those same tools are involved there, and I think so you get some of the same effects because you're going through something adverse together, and when you come out of the other side successfully, that builds strength and camaraderie.
Trust.
Yes,
trust. It builds trust in your fellow castmates.
I'm going to make a prediction here. Okay, so a year ago, and Mike, maybe you remember this, I was the new guy because I did my first play a little over a year ago. And I'm addicted. And this is the one thing we didn't address is that, you get excited, you get nervous and butterflies, but there's also that part where when you get up on stage and you say your first line and you get your first laugh, there is most definitely a very addictive rush that happens.
There is nothing greater in the world to be in a room of people that like you.
So I predicted that
bit of an ego boost, right?
Yeah, a little bit.
I predicted that in a year, Will's going to be sitting in here like, well, this is my fourth production. I remember when I was new, just like I am right now. So,
absolutely. So
it's very addictive.
So come see it for yourself. Come out and enjoy a show here. And then, hey, if you get in here, it's like, man, I love to do some of this. Stick around afterwards. Talk to the cast. Talk to anybody associated with the little theater there. They would be happy to give you more information. Shoot, you talk to the right person. They might give you a tour and everything right then.
Absolutely. That's kind of how I got involved when we went to see Spider's Web a few months back, and Chris gave me the whole tour. Of course, I knew Chris and Gina before from social interactions.
And Gina's our director for this.
Yeah, Gina Montague. Yeah. So, and let's not forget, if you want to participate by just donations of your stuff out in the garage that you're not using, the theater needs props and all sorts of other things.
Your trash is their treasure. That's
you would be surprised what we can create.
Well, and that's just it, because the performances that happen there are sometimes they're period pieces. Sometimes you got to have stuff laying around that fits in the 70s maybe or the 40s or
an old is the late 50s, early 60s.
An old Eisenhower military uniform. That was sitting in my garage for a while. I donated it.
And in case you guys don't know, behind that stage in the theater, there is a room that's got a sea of just great things that they props, costumes, and everything. They have a great collection. Unfortunately, it's not big enough because there's more out there that's needed for, particularly when you get into period piece performances. It's kind of hard to do a sellable performance of the 1800s when you got modern telephones and stuff sitting in the set there,
or a Starbucks.
Exactly. It's kind of hard to make it a believable story when that's going on there. So
there was a Starbucks cup sitting on the stage on Game of Thrones at one time.
What a
scandal that caused on Twitter, right?
I don't know if you guys are looking for Easter eggs yet. You haven't got there yet.
Yeah.
Although maybe that's the thing.
I think that's April, right?
Yeah.
That actually might be a fun bit. Is y'all do like one of your plays and make like some contest where you deliberately put Easter eggs and see if somebody can get them and they win some prize.
Okay,
or something.
I got to tell you.
There's an
so
idea.
Spider's Web, which he was talking about, was an Agatha Christie play. We did that earlier this year, and I was the assistant director on that, but I also helped with the set. And one of the little details we did is there was a character named Pippa, who was a little girl who had to hide in a closet. And it was a hidden door. If you saw it, then, you didn't know where the door was. But I went in there on the closet, and I was like, okay, a little girl hiding in here, she's going to do something. So I actually scratched her name in the door that was inside on the back.
Okay.
So when we would give tours of the set afterwards, people would come up and open that up and see that, And I mean, it's one of those things. Nobody would ever notice it from the stage.
Just a hint of nightmare fuel there.
Yeah. just little things like that. Yeah, absolutely.
That's cool.
And that's and I want to stress this. We've been very lucky. We've had some great partners who've helped us out here. Blair's Trading Post.
Absolutely. Yeah,
Gary,
you guys wouldn't be able to do this out there.
No, Gary and Debbie out there were great. We we needed 2 hotel rooms, and they happened to have hotel room furniture, and they're like, "You tell us what you need, we'll get it for you."
That's
awesome.
awesome.
And they've loaned it to us, and we had some help. Candlewood Inn and Suites, because we're a hotel, we need the little accoutrements.
Sure.
that come in
Things
hotel
to make
rooms.
a hotel a hotel.
That's right.
Yeah, little door hangers and everything.
Yeah, so Yolanda up there has been a great help for us. Roswell Donuts, it's a cop show, so you got to have some donuts in there, and Roswell Donuts has been helping us out. And Anderson Bethany has always supported our theater. They kind of, with every show, they say, what can we do to help? And, as we've talked about, our budget for a show, I tell people this, I don't want to say the number, but it's about the same amount of money you might spend on a good night out on the town. And that's what we have to build a set. That's what we have to buy costumes with. That's what we have to do everything with.
Yeah.
And it's amazing what we can do with that.
Absolutely.
Donations. Sometimes
Making
people, it's
magic here.
It really is. It's pretty impressive what we can do.
I haven't had to borrow a casket from Anderson Bethany for any performances yet.
Okay, I hate to say this out loud, but we happen to need a casket. Well, you know what? The first play we did, which was Francine's Will, we actually borrowed an urn from them because we needed a cremated remains.
Urn's a little more easy to transport than a casket.
But just Anderson Bethany giving you a heads up. Next year, there's going to be a play where we will need a casket.
All right. So we got a spare one lying around.
Yeah. So somebody doesn't make that 8th payment, got to repossess it. Just let us know.
I'm thinking if you got a spare casket in your garage, we'll use it, but you probably got other things going on that you need to worry about.
Well, I would like to hope you're just really into Halloween and love to decorate. Anything other than that, I'm a little worried.
Pre-planning.
There you go.
There you're right.
That's some pre-planning. I got the casket in the garage right now.
They used to sell those at Costco. I remember the first time I walked into a Costco, and here's like the pallets of Coca-Cola, paper towels, and caskets lined up by the front door, and you could buy your casket and throw it in the back of your pickup and take it home with you.
Well, I got a new one with Bluetooth, so
there you go.
got Bluetooth.
Smart devices are penetrating our lives in all forms, so why not the casket too? Take it to the afterlife.
That's right.
You were mentioning our costume shop. We do rent stuff out.
Oh, if you need for your own
for Halloween or something, you want to come see what we got.
That's not a bad fundraiser. You come get costumed up by the little theater.
Well, I don't think most people know that because we don't have too many takers. But if you want to come look through our costume shop and rent something.
Well, being the new guy, this is the first I'm hearing about it.
I'm liking this. You have just a lot of ideas back there. I'm just saying.
So I also want to throw out something else real quick.
Yeah, do the talent search real quick.
As some of you guys out there listening know, we did a talent search last year. We called it Santa's Talent Search at the theater, and we are gearing up for the 2nd annual talent search.
Yes.
We have our dates now. The show will be on Saturday, December 18th.
Okay.
Auditions will be Thursday, December 2nd at 6 p.m., Saturday, December 4th at 2 p.m., and they're not. I checked just before I came on. They're not on yet, but they should be on. Hopefully, in the next 24 hours, we'll have the entry forms, the waivers, all that stuff. All the paperwork will be online on our website to get your audition forms in.
Okay.
We are looking forward to having one of our star judges back. We appreciate that you did it last year, and we're very excited to have you come back again this year. But,
absolutely. That's fun.
We'll have more information on that soon, but for those out there who have been waiting to hear, because I have had several people ask me, when are auditions? Forms will be online in the next 24 hours, and get them in by November 30th. We are very ready.
And then the week before Christmas, that's Saturday. I think it's to the day. Isn't Christmas on a Saturday this year?
I believe it might be.
So I think it's 1 week before Christmas for the performance on the 18th.
Yeah. On the 7th.
We also have improv nights.
Yes. What's that?
We also have improv nights.
Yeah, that's Friday nights, right?
Well, we had our first one last Friday. I think with our schedule coming up, we're a little
got
packed,
some busy Friday nights coming up there. Yeah.
But we'll be announcing more dates on that.
Okay.
And we're also doing a big fundraiser in conjunction with the Kiwanis Club.
Yes.
We're doing a concert on November 6th.
If you're a big fan of
Simon and Garfunkel.
It's
a Simon and Garfunkel tribute band.
Right.
And we're very excited about having that. And part of the proceeds from that helped to go build a all-inclusive playground for children.
For Kiwanis and everything
Yes.
through that, the all-inclusive park. By the way, that show is a little different.
Right.
It is assigned seating, so you go online and pick your tickets. It's a little different than most community theater events in that building.
Yeah.
So that one's a little different. Just want to put that on your radar. Well, we got to go. Okay. Thank you, guys. Break a leg. We'll see you this weekend.
Great.
And get on out to come see Unnecessary Farce this Friday, Saturday night, 7:30 p.m., Sunday, 2:30. Then we'll do it all over again Friday and Saturday night, 7:30, Sunday at 2:30, again at the Roswell Community Little Theater there in the Plains Park Shopping Center.
And then the next week will be Bye Bye Birdie.
And Bye Bye Birdie, that's the make good from the summer. If you've got tickets, you've already got a seat there. If you want tickets, go online, roswelltheater.com to get your tickets.
Yes.
You can get all that done.
Thank you so much for having us
guys.
on. We really appreciate
Thank you.
it.
We'll see you all next
Appreciate
time.
it.
All right. Thanks, Mike.
Don't work too hard.
Right.
It is 9:58. Let's do a quick break before they kick us off the air. Don't go away.
Don't miss the amazing concerts at this year's Eastern New Mexico State Fair, October 4th through the 9th. On October 6th at 7 p.m., it's Colton Dixon. On October 7th, it's Grupo Maldad, Los Consentidos del Norte de Ciudad Juárez, and Los Tremendos León. On Friday, don't miss the Dirty River Boys.
Used to walk down Santa Fe Street, had a quarter in my hand and a fake ID.
Sundance Head.
You're gonna love her, leave her. Wow.
Jody Nix.
Across the alley from the Alamo, when the summer sun starts to settle low.
And Sherry Rowe.
By way of Southwest.
And on Saturday, Edición de Rancho, Conjunto Bengala, and Los Culpables y su estilo diferente. For a complete list of events at this year's fair, log on to enmsf.com.